Oh my goodness, it is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Okay, so before I begin, I just want to say if you were following me on my other pages, forgive me. I have been removed due to um, the drag story hour. But I want you to know that I'm still here. If you love everything IME is doing, follow the IME Inc. pages. Also, follow me on my other pages Peach ENT, Peach Entrepreneur, House of Peach. You can find me everywhere. And also, download the IME app. Because remember, Facebook, Instagram, none of them can silence a person that has their very own platform. And it's not just me. We, as the community, have our very own platform. So you can't silence us. So let's get into the topic for tonight. And also, I have a surprise. I am not the host. I'll introduce the host. So I'm excited because I just had a commitment ceremony with Smack on Sunday. And this topic that the host chose just falls right into what happened on Sunday and how we can make better connections with people. So we hope we can help you with that tonight. So the topic is, why is it so hard to let go of toxic situationships within the queer community? So again, I am not the host. I'm going to bring the host up. As usual, everything shared here is the views of the panel, not necessarily of IME Inc., the board. This is just, conversation, and we hope that you learn. So I'm just going to get out the way and I'm going to bring up the host. Are you ready, surprise host?
I'm
Tim
ready.
is the host of tonight's show.
Hello, everybody. Are you ready for In Black? Before we get started, I would just like to ask everybody for a small favor. Just take a few moments and share, share, share. Please make sure you share this. The topic that we have tonight is, why is it so hard for us to let go of toxic situationships? The reason why I chose the terminology situationship is because when you hear relationship, you normally think of a bond between two people. I'm sorry, it's 2025, two or more people. But we are not just covering relationships. These situationships include your family, your siblings, your in-laws, your kids. So I just wanted to break that down for you so that when we get into this, everybody doesn't focus extremely on person relationships. It's about the entire circumference of the quarter that is around you, your family, your friends, your siblings, your children. So I think I'm gonna get it started off with the first question. And the first question is, do you recognize the forms of abuse that aren't physical? And if you do recognize these forms of abuse, what are they? I think I'm going to start this off with Donna.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, Tim, can you repeat that one more again for me? Because
Do you recognize the forms of toxic abuse that aren't physical? And if you do recognize them, what are they? Or what are
okay,
yours particularly?
but it doesn't have to be abusive. Okay, it could be it could be manipulation. That's a form of, to me, is a form of abuse. Um, Talking down, like being nasty in the form of communicating to a person, I think that can also be abuse. Um, Without being physical. And it could be people out in the street also that but when you come to situationships, like you said, um I can only speak on relationships because I can't really speak on like like my daughter and family like that. I can only speak on relationships that I've been in. But I've been yeah, it's been quite a some of my relationships has been quite a people downing me for what I have and what I have. Like I'm better off than them. That type of abuse, coming to me talking about I think I'm better than them 'cause what I have, and talking down to me, making me feel bad, being nasty. And not knowing where I came from in the beginning, I had struggles and I had hard times too. Just because where I'm at now don't mean I was always like that. So, it could, like I said, my like toxic abuse without. I've had physical relationships too, but I think it's more like people talking down to you, um, hurting your feelings. It's just a lot when it comes to people. When it comes to feelings, they don't know how to talk to people. They because I'm on that. I'm bad with that too because I can come out a little blunt and be very nasty when I feel frustrated or I'm upset or I had enough. But I mean, that's all I can think about as far as like non physical is more of the verbal abuse that I've encountered in my relationships or in my past.
Okay. So you said basically manipulation and condescending behavior.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Don.
Yes.
All right. Let's see who we can mix it up with. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go to my boy Stan.
Okay.
Stan the
Man.
man.
Uh, well, it's she covered a lot of it, but like I said, it could be mental. People trying to break your spirit. Um, they show you no support. Uh, they
Wow.
downplay and ignore your ideas, and then they really try to mess with your self esteem. You know, so those are all kind of signs of abuse, and that goes with not just personal relationships, but that goes even with business relationships with people. You know, and for whatever reason, people do that to you, but those are the kind of things that are very abusive. The main thing is when people try to break your spirit. And then there's also uh, people want control. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Breaking your spirit, not showing you support. They don't value your ideas. Uh, so and then it's also self-esteem. People want the advantage over you. If they can break your self-esteem and your spirit. So that's my answer.
Wow. Stan, like it's really like amazing that you hit the head you hit the nail on the head of three of my most consistent toxic abuses.
Yeah.
So I really do relate to just about everything that you just said.
Hmm.
Thank you, Stan.
Yeah.
Yep. That comes with living for a long time. These gray hairs, they mean something, man.
Oh, Stan, you ain't nothing but 24, 25, young boy.
Ah,
24,
20,
25.
27 actually.
Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. This is one of my favorite people. Let's see what Smack has to say.
I didn't even hear the question.
Hold on a second.
I'll run it back for you. Do you recognize the forms of abuse, toxic abuse, that aren't physical? And if you do recognize them, what are they?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like, you pour into your friends, but they don't pour back. Well, now I ain't gonna say friends, but people, organizations, all kind of different situationships, and they don't pour back into you. But when they
Mm.
need something, you dare to give them what they need. But when it's your turn, it's not received, and so you have to really look at it. And if you keep going along with it, it becomes toxic to the point where for some people it may get them anxiety, or it could even get in the way of your current relationships that you have with people. That's one of the ones I would say. People just don't pour back into you the way you pour into them.
Yeah, Vonda, that one was you said a mouthful with that.
Mhm.
You said a mouthful with that, and that seems to be like really common with friends, family, and business these days. It's just like people
And
need so much
organizations, organizations too. There's a lot of organizations out here be wanting people to do all the work, but they don't want to get out there and do the work themselves. But
themselves.
they want to use certain things and people to get out there and do the work, but they don't feed back into you, your organization, or what you stand for. These are just some of the things that the conversations I've had with other people in my circle, other people who are out here really doing a lot of great work. They starting to pour into people, but people not pouring back into them.
Yeah, that's a major thing, and it's something that you experience a lot more commonly these days. Like people are really about self. You know,
Yeah.
it's about what they can get and what they can use you for before they get on to the next one. It's not really about business or making sure that you're successful so that you can be a lucrative business partner for years to come. It's about that moment and what they can get from you immediately. I definitely agree with you on that one. Okay. So BJ, Brenda,
Brandon.
is she here?
Yes. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Yep,
So
we can hear you.
Stan hit on
You
everything that
need
I was going to say.
me
Oh wow.
to Okay.
You know, I especially um I'm still going through people around me that I've had to cut my not family. I mean, just some of the inner circle now. The circle has become and it's made me question why I've hung around with these
And
people
it
for
made
more
me
than over
question why I've hung around with these people
30
for more
years.
than over 30 years.
What what was that? What was
What's
going on
that?
with the
What was going on with the vibe?
the sound?
Is somebody listening to the show while watching it?
Or like close to a radio or something? I'm sorry. Go ahead, BJ.
Um, that was about it.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna move along to Mother Peirrce, Peach McCoy.
Okay, so toxic relationships, what do they look like when they're not physically touching you? I myself was in a toxic relationship. I think anytime you feel like you're slowly dying in the inside. Have
But
you ever felt that like
excuse me,
slowly dying?
excuse me, Pierce. Can everyone mute their mics because someone has a fan on and it's coming through your microphone, and every other word of yours is being cut off, and I'm not hearing you clearly. I hear
Okay.
like a fan or something.
Oh,
Hi,
really?
can you
Can
hear
you
it now?
I don't hear it now.
It
Okay.
was my fan.
Okay. So, like I was saying, anything that makes you feel like you're dying slowly, anything that makes you not want to get up in the morning and start your day, and any situationship that you have, work relationships, relationships that's intimate, um, nonprofit work, just all of it, anything where you dread coming in contact with it, then you know that's a clear sign that you need to back up because you're in a situation that's not healthy for you. So that's what I'll say. And that's my answer. If you feel like you're dying inside or you have high anxiety, then you know that is not good for you. And that's a clear sign. Run. That's my answer.
That was a good answer,
Hmm.
and I agree with you 100%. First, I want to bounce back to something that Smack said because Smack nailed it right on the head when Smack said people people need so much from you, but they refuse to pour back into you. Um, Man, I've experienced so much of that. It's like as an entertainer, I've sponsored so many people and made people's wardrobes for free and showed up to things that weren't really my event, but just to show to support to somebody that I was working with or that was a friend or had an aspiring business. And I would come and support these events, even if they were things that I really didn't dig or wasn't really into, just for the sake of sponsoring somebody that I had faith in or sponsoring somebody that I was doing business in. And people will not do those things for you. 31 years. I've got people that are still lying. I'm gonna be there the next show. Mind you, I'm not the type of person that reminds you of what I said. I'll invite you one time and then I'll observe. And every time I'm in your city or every time I'm in your state, I'm sending you this and I never see your face in the audience. And then in the past 7 years, I've had to deal with diabetes. I had to deal with COVID. Then I had 2.5 years of long COVID. People read the stuff on social media. They liked the stuff on social media. They said, get well. And they moved on with their life. Nobody checked on me. Nobody made sure I was okay. And these are two disease. The first two diseases are two terminal. Those are two diseases that can take you up out of here.
Hmm.
Nobody. But the same people who have not supported me in anything, health, business, friendship, get mad when you don't show up for them. These are people who don't show up for you at all, but have the gall and the audacity to get upset when you can't be there for them. It's amazing. And then I'm a very giving person and I'm a very kind person, especially with my other half. And I haven't been in a relationship where people didn't take that for granted. And that's dating, that's family. And for a long time, that was friends because they knew I would never say no. If you were my friend, I would always ride for you. I would go above and beyond if I loved you. And people took that used that to an advantage. And and there were people who fell in love with my hand instead of my heart. So yeah, all of that. I'm just gonna move on to the next question because this is not the Tim show. What is the most toxic situation that you've been in, and how did you get out of it? I want to start this one off with Peirrce.
Oh my goodness. All right. So the most toxic relationship I've ever been in is with my second husband. My first husband, he was killed. Um, Let's dial it back. So in the year 2000, I lost my first husband. I lost my grandmother, my grandfather. Those were the people that raised me.
Wow.
And I came into a bit of money and I started, you get a little bit of money, you in depression, you start hanging out and trying to, and I met a man that I thought cared about me. But in the end, as I got into the relationship, yes, we did find some common ground, but I can tell, throughout it, once the money ran out, that he really wasn't into me, but he wanted to benefit off of me because of the kind of person that I was.
Mm.
So within that relationship, tons of verbal abuse. Anything that I would try to start, because I've always been business oriented, he would find a reason for me not to do it. Everything I would try to do, he would compete with me. And I don't care what it is. I went to college one semester, got on the dean's list. He went to college, got on the dean's list, and it was a party for him, crickets for me. Anything involving me was an issue. So that was the most toxic experience. And just like the question you asked me earlier, how do you know when things aren't right for you, or if it's toxic? Because every day for 15 years, I died a little bit each day till I got to a point where I had to make a decision. It was either going to be the real death or I have to save myself and get a life. And I'm still here. I chose to get a life. So that is my answer.
Okay, Peirrce. All right. Let's try BJ.
Did you say me?
I say yon.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be coy up here taking my medicine. Um, the most toxic relationship was not this one now, not the one before. So two relationships before this one. Um, his name was Elliot. I was with Elliot for like 6 years, maybe
Hmm.
six. Well, about 8 years. 8 years, I would say. And Elliot cheated on me. Men, women, he didn't care, and I stayed with this son of a bitch. Out of all my marriages, got Liz Taylor beat. If gay divorce would have been a thing, I'd be a rich bitch by now. But I stayed with this man and he did nothing but cheat on me. And I kept a smiley face. Everything was nice and happy. He said you wanted to die. And somehow I got the courage because I heard Iyanla Van Zandt on TV was saying one day, know your worth and know that you are more than what's for you. Some things are not. And I had bought him a T-shirt that day, and he was just so disingenuous. He didn't. Not that he didn't like it, but he didn't. I guess he didn't want it or something. And his expression, I just was like, oh, okay, don't want this. I see. So I guess I'm not wanted either. And he slipped and said, no, I guess. And I was like, oh, I can do that all by myself. I'm out. And so that's when I came down here to Delaware.
Wow.
So that was mine.
And the crazy thing about it is I met him and didn't know he was anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, BJ. I think we are going to go to Donna.
Yes. My one and only toxic relationship is I was with this girl. I met her on Facebook. Facebook. I wouldn't say friends, cause acquaintance. I don't say Facebook friends. I say Facebook because it is a friend is not just somebody you just have on your page. Um, so I met her through Facebook. She was living in South Carolina. Um, then after a while, I would go and drive down there to meet up with her and spend some time to get to know her. And I
Mm,
think I went back and forth like maybe 3 or 4 times. But she was in a house. She had a house, and she had two young girls as her daughters. But I was like, why can't I come to your house? But I know you had kids, so that. But then I was like going back and forth for a while. We was getting really close, and I'm like, why I can't go to your house? So I found out, that house was the house that she was with her ex boyfriend. Um, but she wasn't with him. He wasn't living there. He just gave her the house because of the kids. But then she wanted to leave South Carolina, and I went down to South Carolina, and she took whatever she could and her kids, and I brought them back to Maryland to live with her sister. Then she was like in my house here and there, wanted to live with me, but I was like, I'm not ready for that. But yeah, to make a long story short, um, she was very abusive. She went to my friend's house, got pissy drunk, um, acted a fool, came home. She started beating up on me. I put her in the tub because she defecated all on herself. I let her stay there in the tub overnight because you was not sleeping with me and you was not no.
Wow.
Then she sobered up, and then I told her, I said, I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't want to no. And then that's when she started putting her hands on me, and I had to call the cops. I was marked domestic violence, and I locked myself in they told me to lock myself in the my room until they arrived, and then she had to leave. But yeah, that was like the only time I ever had any kind of like a toxic relationship in my in any relationship I ever had. That was the worst. And then later on she tried to get back with me again, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, that was about the only one that I ever dealt with. Yeah, she was schizophrenic, bipolar. I don't know what she was, but she had issues.
that was a lot.
Yeah, it went deeper, but I'm not going to put so much out. But I'm telling
Right.
you, it was a lot more that I could put out, but I don't feel like putting it out. But yeah, I went through that with her.
So, I mean, how did you get out of it? One day you just got
Um,
mad, and
my
that was just it.
therapist. Talking to my therapist. Therapist telling me I gotta stop all communication. I gotta distance myself. I can't, cause I'm a very loving person, and I give people chances. But I knew that wasn't one that I was going to try to give a chance to. But I just distanced myself, stop all communication, and just let time go by, and wasn't going to be bothered with her.
All right,
That's it.
because you ain't had time to be bothered. You weren't gonna be bothered with her.
Nah, now when cops come to my peaceful neighborhood and I gotta deal with that, nah,
No, it's too much.
yeah, very much too much.
All right,
No,
Donna.
okay,
Um, smack.
making it smack. Don't hold back.
Can you can you come back to me?
Getting
I
together.
need like a couple
Okay.
minutes. No, I don't need to
All right.
get it together. I'm at the getting something to eat. I haven't eaten all day.
Okay, we'll come around. We'll come back around. Mr. Stan, you ready, Stan?
Okay. Well, actually, I was gonna pass on this one, um,
Ooh.
only because it was, and right now this was like a year and a half ago,
All right, sorry.
and from what I
Thank you.
understand, it's still being, like, uh, things are being said, but it was a point that I had a, you know how I always elaborate that relationships are supposed to be enjoyed and things like that,
Yeah.
and it got to a point that I had enough, and I was trying to build a business, I was trying to do things, and I was trying to, and when you're not on the same page, and you give people opportunities to, they got opportunities to get in some movies, they got opportunities to do things that I really did, the ego started taking over. So one of the things that I learned is I'm not going to deal with people whose egos are bigger than their brain, and I learned that. But I'm not going to elaborate because they still watch things I'm doing. But it went to a Facebook Live,
Mm.
Mm.
and it was the stupidest shit and went live, and then I had to get the police to come, and the police showed up, and then the way I got out of it is when they sat back and they attacked the police.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and so, and it was all. I mean, they were doing the live when the cops was trying to talk, and they, hey, and but what happened was it was just that one day I decided I'm going to cut this shit off, and she didn't believe it, and realized, with all the shit that I've done, and realized he's getting ready to cut me off. And you know how people can think, okay, if this ends, I can still do this. But when reality hit, and the day I did it, uh, she got Facebook Live, started damaging the furniture, putting holes in the walls in the house. And instead of me confronting it, I went and then got the police to come. The police came. And this is a year and a half ago. So, and believe it or not, I can go places right now and people will sit back and breathe. you know, because it was really, and I'm kind of pretty much a high profile person, so that it went everywhere. But um, the video showed it all, and so with her being on the house and stuff, you can't really put people out. You have to go and do evictions and shit. But when she assaulted the police, that was the end of it, and I was so glad. And so when they called me from jail and everything, I just put it like that. I said, look, the state, they want to put you away for 5 years, and so the deal we're gonna do is I won't press those charges on you, but the agreement is you're gonna have to stay the hell away from me and nowhere around my house ever. And I was always smart to not put nobody's name on anything. Um, just because a person will sit back and they will take you down because they ain't got shit to lose. And and just I know people watching this, so somebody's gonna say that Stan was, I know this is gonna happen. But the thing is, uh, through the agreement that she made to stay out of jail, she can't respond to things because one thing she can, if she one thing she say, I can just go right to the state and they will get her. But
They'll
she
lock her
left the
back up.
state, but um, it was just one of those things, and in the beginning, it was one of the best relationships you could have. But
Mm.
then ego, and ego is a big thing. And when you're dealing with somebody that never had much, and then they get involved with some things and they start seeing things. At that time I was doing the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stuff, and um, to me that was never no big deal to me. I had big aspirations than reality TV stuff,
Mhm.
but and that's a whole nother story in itself on that whole shit. But um, once I was cutting that off, um, then I saw, in matter of fact, the way it was done, she was in the bathroom and she was going out with a friend of hers, and hey, you can't use the car no more, you can't use this no more, and she felt entitled and just started going live, you know, and then what you were doing is entertaining somebody else. And that's all that was for. That was a show for somebody else to say, look how he's treating me. I'm being abused, you know. And the police showed up and I left, and when they came, and then when the police was telling her, hey, you gotta leave, then she assaulted the police, and that was the end of that. And so I had her fate in my hands. So I had the state telling me, hey, look, we want to put her away. She's crying, begging me. And my whole thing was just stay away from me. We'll sign an agreement and we'll do it by the state. And even to this day, she still makes posts and stuff. And then people call me and say, hey, you know, she's saying these things, she's saying that. Because I don't have no contact and I don't follow none of it. But even though I imagine in other relationships and stuff, it's something that still is bitter with them. So it's and one thing about relationships with people that I learned is if you break up with somebody and y'all break up, you know, and you both agree to break up, but people are not happy with a breakup unless they leave you damaged. And you know, and if they don't leave you damaged, no matter what they doing, she can get $1 million today and be living on top of the world, but she'll never be happy because I did not leave him damaged. And that's the only way she's gonna have closure is to say I damaged this motherfucker. And that's why people really stay in these relationships. They stay in it because they can't leave without damage. And so whatever's going on, whatever, you know, stuff that they succeed at, her happiness is not there because I did not leave staying damaged. And I can't get this out of my head. I want to see suffering. And then I can put closure to it. So the way I got out of it was I was prepared for what was going to happen. It was worse than what I expected. But you know, the way I think, I always want the best, but I always expect the worst. And that's how I deal with all my situations, because I'm very optimistic, but and you can never say you know somebody. And people will say, "Oh, she would never do this." See, that's crap, because you don't know. People sleep with somebody for 20 years and you only know what people show you. You could be with somebody for 20 years and you only know what they're showing you. You could be married 20 years. You don't know everything about that person. You only know what they let you see. So when people tell me, "Oh, he ain't that kind of person," you don't know. You know, I don't put nothing past nobody. But that's how I got out of it. I just had enough. I was losing. I wasn't taking care of certain things I should be doing, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And then, like I said, when you start getting ready to come to your house, and you got to take a fucking deep breath before you walk in that damn door, and say, "I've been dealing with shit all day,
And now I got to
now
deal with
one
this.
motherfucker else I got to deal with." That was so. That's that.
All right, Mr. Stan. That was I definitely could relate to everything you said. You were saying.
Yeah.
I've actually had problems with stalkers.
Okay.
Um, so I definitely understand what you're saying, Stan.
Yeah. So by me saying what I'm saying, there's gonna be somebody out there that know her and gonna say, "Girl, he was talking about you." So,
Okay.
Always,
but and
always.
I could go on more, but you know, and it's a video that's circulating out there. It was even on YouTube.
Hmm. Damn.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. And I was going places here in Atlanta, and then people bring that shit up that I don't even know. They see me and shit, and they talk about, like, "How you doing? I saw that live y'all were." real for real. Like wow. So,
Well,
but
Stan, I gotta ask you a question. Just one
uh,
short question before I move on to the next person.
go ahead.
What did you do to her to make her act like that, Stan?
Um, I exposed her to a lot of things, and it's like okay, we started out with she was doing makeup, so then she was doing makeup for a lot of these movies we were doing, and what I did was I got our product in movies. Remember I told you like a lot of those movies on Tubi. So
Yeah.
we did
Mm-hmm.
makeup for a lot of the movies, like maybe 60-70% of those movies. And
Oh
so she
wow.
started doing the makeup, and so then people, so she said, "Hey Stan, you think I can start getting in some of these movies?" And so it started with that,
Mm.
and then you start like become, oh god, I mean, she's a performer. A matter of fact, I had her open up for Trina in Memphis. I got her that.
Mm.
And so she got a lot of notoriety. And I know I'm going to hear a lot of shit from this, but
Oh.
yeah, I got her to open up for Trina. And the ego shit started. And my thing was, you know
Mm.
what? When everything that is written about you and everything I put in a press release about you, it ain't true. It's just hype. And when they say don't believe the hype, that's a real phrase. Like I told her, you starting to believe the fucking lie. Everything I'm writing about you is not real. When I put them press releases out, that's not you. But you start believing it. And then you start treating me like I'm your help. And it just started with that kind of shit. And that's how I really started. The ego started getting big. You start wanting shit you can't afford. And it just got to a point that she wasn't the same person no more. She
Wow.
changed, and yeah, it wasn't the same. Just wasn't the same. And then you go look at the fucking bank account, and you go to the ATM and get some money. I'm in the fucking ATM at the drive, and then when I sit back and get that slip coming back, that zero balance, and I'm beating my
Mm.
head on the goddamn steering wheel. Like what the fuck? That kind of shit.
Yeah. I I've been through that joint bank account thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I've been through
another
that
story.
joint bank account thing. Yeah. Thank you, Stan.
Yeah.
Uh Smack, are you back? No?
Yeah, I'm here.
You back? Okay.
Y'all
You,
can't
you,
see me.
Yeah,
we
we see.
can now. You're in the hot
Okay.
seat.
Um, it was what's the most toxic situationship you've been in?
And how did you get out of it?
Well, the most toxic one I've been in is with myself.
What?
Yep, because half the things that I've been through is because of me
Hmm.
and the
Mm,
decisions I'd made.
that's the
Because
next question.
I'm in control of my happiness. So half of the different situationships that I had before, moving to Delaware, because I was in some bad stuff when my second relationship was toxic. But I noticed that as I continue to move on throughout life, the most toxic one was me and with myself, because I continue to let stuff continue to happen in different situationships. Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
once I started to love myself more, all that toxicity stopped because I'm in control. I'm not going to keep letting stuff go on because of love. If I'm not being treated the way that I want to, love the way that I want, you got to go. So that's what it
That's
is.
that's it, and that's all. That's very straight to the point. Did I get everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess I'm in the hot seat now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the most toxic relationship or situationship that I've been in was with a parent, but I don't really want to keep. I don't want people to think I hate my mother because I actually love my mother more than anything on this earth. She just took me through more than anyone on this earth. Um, so I'm gonna go to my last relationship. um, this situation was toxic because it wasn't anything that it appeared to be. It didn't even start off the way that a relationship is supposed to. They say that the way you get a person is how you lose a person. And my last relationship taught me that hands down, amongst a bucket load of other lessons. So I'm just going to tell you about the beginning of the relationship and the end of the relationship, because it's only a 2 hour show. Um, when I first met my ex, he wasn't somebody that that I would pay attention to. He was extremely feminine. I hadn't dated any feminine guys at that point in my life. He was spoiled. Um, and he just wasn't, So at that time, I was 17 years old. I had a roommate. I had two roommates, and one of my roommates was pregnant, and she was a fag hag, so she was always around us. So on Sundays we would have spade games, and everybody would come over, and we would cook and play spades, watch TV. Everybody would cut up. Now my cousin was dating this boy, and he brought him over one night. We were playing spades. We ended up on the same team, and he was playing footsies with me under the table.
Mm.
Now, I'm not the type of person. I don't want nobody else's. I don't give a fuck how fine you are. I don't care what you're driving. I don't care how big your pockets are. If you already got somebody, I don't want you. I don't want somebody else's, and I'm not side joint material.
Mm.
If you can't come all the way over here, then we can't do that. And so to make a long story short, Rhonda, who was pregnant, went into labor. We took her to the hospital that night. They kept her overnight. The next day, I get a phone call that Rhonda passed away during childbirth, and her and the baby passed away. Now,
Mm.
as a grown man, I handled death a lot better than I did as a teenager because I stopped eating, I stopped taking baths, I stopped going to work. Do you know that this boy started showing up at my door every day, and he would cook for me? Then he eventually got me taking showers again. And then he started driving me to work and sitting in the parking lot and making sure that I was going to work. And he just moved in and never moved the fuck out. And that's how my last relationship started. I didn't even really get a vote in that shit. It was
Mm.
just like he was there when I needed him. He moved in, and then he just became a part of everybody's lives. And because it was really, really good in the beginning, we all just went with it. Okay, so at this time I was 235 pounds. I'm 209 pounds now. He was 150 pounds. I told him I will never put my hands on you because he had been in multiple abusive relationships. Now, everybody around us envied our relationship because of the way that I treated him and the dynamics that we had. And I constantly kept warning him, everybody there, most of the people around us do not want to see us happy. If you want to hold on to your relationship, do not let people who don't want to see you happy know what's going on in your relationship.
Mm.
The first 2 years were all good. Now, mind you, I paid a majority of the bills. He pitched in wherever he want. The rest was his spending money. That's how I treated this man. Okay, so we move right along. I slipped up and I was in, I was I messed up. I cheated. I didn't have sex with somebody, but I let somebody give me um, oral sex when we were going through some rough things. So then he cheated with somebody. So then I cheated with somebody. So to make a long story short, as we started drifting further apart, he started drifting towards people who didn't have any good intentions for either one of us. So we're gonna fast forward to the end of the relationship. Well, he would get upset. And even though he was a little tiny thing, whenever he got upset, he was extremely violent. Now, I'm a three strikes you're out type person. The first time he bust me in my head was with a full Jack Daniels bottle. Y'all know how thick the glass of a Jack Daniels bottle is?
Yeah.
The second time he bust me in my head, he hit me with one of them old fashioned rotary phones that used to sit up on the two prongs. It had a
Mm.
marble base. He busted me in my motherfucking head with it. I told him the next time that you put your hands on me, I'm gonna whoop your ass like you a stranger in the fucking street. And I guess he did not think that I was capable or serious because I was extremely protective of this boy and he knew it. So anybody that he didn't want me close to, he would start a conflict with because he knew to protect my relationship, I will push that person away. Now, by the end of that relationship, all my friends were all the way over there, and I was left over here with this boy. A majority of my family was all the way over there, and I'm all the way over here with this boy. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward past some things. Now, he's up to two strikes, and both times he attacked me, he was dead ass wrong. When we got to the bottom of the situation, he assumed shit that was never going on. So not only have you attacked me twice, injured me twice, but you were dead ass wrong. I come home from work one day. Well, his little lesbian friend started coming to pick him up on Saturdays, and on Saturdays they would disappear. And I ain't got nothing against lesbians. That's not why I said it like that. I said it like that because I don't like the bitch. She would come and pick him up on Saturdays, and what I didn't know was they were house hunting. Now, mind you, I had this boy on everything that was fucking mine. My bank account, the lease. He was on every fucking thing that was mine. I was young. That was my first apartment. I had just turned 18. I was naive. Baby, I come home one day, there is an eviction notice on my fucking door. Now, I know I pay this rent every fucking month. How is there an eviction notice on my door? To this day, I don't know what that boy did. This was in 1995. When my mother passed away in 2006, I went back home and tried to get a house or a room or an apartment. I couldn't rent shit in the entire city because of whatever this boy went down to that rent office and did back in 1995. Then my bills started coming in. This boy was calling overseas and leaving the phone off hook all day. He would leave out after me. He would turn the water on and leave it running all day, turn all the gas hotties on the stove, leave them bitches burning all day. So I got a $900 electric bill. I got an $850 gas bill. I got a $1,200 phone bill, and I'm evicted. That boy did all that shit to me after how I treated him. So that forced me to have to move in with him.
Whoa.
No, when I moved in with him, I spoiled the fuck out of that boy for 3.5 years.
Mm.
Every fucking thing that he wanted, he had. He was one of the best dressed queens that was performing in the state of Delaware at that time. Do you know who was financing all of this shit?
Mm.
Me. When I moved in with that boy, he treated me like stir fried shit.
Mm.
So I had this best friend, and I'm not going to say his name. And the boy was genuinely heterosexual, but he loved me to death. He knew my situation, he knew about our relationship. He wasn't bothered by my preference. So we got really tight. And his mother loved me to death. So this is the end. So Desmond, oh shit. Well, my homie, he was like, my mom's having a birthday party. She wants to see you. You always brighten up her. You brighten up her day or her night. So I was like, cool. He comes and gets me. We go to the party. What time do you think this man dropped me off at home?
Mm.
Anybody?
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
He dropped me off at 8. He dropped me off at 8:30 p.m.
Oh.
So I walk in the house, and he peeps out the window and sees the car. Oh, you been fucking your bitch. Stop calling that man that. It ain't nothing like that going on. I'm going upstairs to take a shower. I go upstairs to take a shower. Now, mind you, it's his fucking CD. I didn't put the CD in. I just hopped in the shower and pressed play. I Want to Run to You by Whitney Houston comes on this motherfucking CD player. So now I'm standing in the shower. He's mad, and I Want to Run to You by Whitney Houston is playing on the goddamn CD player. I said, shit. So I get out the shower, throw my pajamas on, go downstairs. Now he's leaning halfway in the doorway, halfway in the living room, and halfway in the kitchen. I go to walk past him. You know those black old fashioned heavy skillets that your grandmother used to fry chicken and shit in?
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker took a baseball swing and bust me right in the middle of my forehead with that frying pan. That was a brand new house. I slammed his ass through every fucking wall in that living room and then drug him out on the motherfucking front lawn. When the police got there, I had my hands around his fucking throat. And my face was covered in blood because he was just digging and scratching all the skin off my face. And he had did so much shit to me at that point that I didn't care. I just wanted him to die. I just wanted him to never be able to do another motherfucking thing to me ever in life. And do you know when the police finally pulled me off him, they asked me, did I want to press charges?
Mm-hmm.
I told them no. Just give me time to get all my things out of here. That was my last relationship. That's how my last relationship ended. That's why I haven't been in a relationship in so long. Because that was some traumatic shit. And I don't ever want to feel like that ever the fuck again. I felt like a slave, a hostage, a punching bag, all at the same fucking time. And to go from an extremely beautiful situation to some shit that's that fucking toxic. And I do have a nasty temper, but it takes a lot to get me to that point. So that's my answer.
Oh, wow.
That's my answer. So since I was the
Wow.
last one, yeah, yeah, I mean, so some of us are certain ways because of what we've endured, and I would never let anybody ever treat me like that again. It
No.
will be serious repercussions to anybody who ever tried to treat me like that again. It's a painful thing when you go that hard for somebody and then they turn around and show you how they actually feel about you, and it's not good. Okay, so moving along to the next question. The next question is, what are your toxic traits and how did they affect your relationships or situationships? And we're gonna start off with Smack.
Well, one of my toxic traits is I'm very protective, overprotective. When I'm in a relationship, I just like to know where you are, make sure you're okay. Um, I think that's one of my. And then I ask a lot of questions, sometimes too many. But that's just me being nosy. But I notice in relationships that's not always good. Um, I used to be the type that nobody. I don't like being told no. So I'm gonna figure out a way to get you to say yes.
Okay, Vonda. um, let's go to Stan.
But I think the
Oh, I'm sorry. You still on? Go ahead, Vonda. Go ahead, Vonda.
She's not there.
She's not there? Okay. It sounded like she was still talking for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. All right. The dynamic duo in
wow,
the
y'all sound
chat.
like Mickey Mouse and everybody. What happened?
Hey y'all,
Okay.
what
Hey.
was the question again?
What's going on? The question was, what are your toxic traits, and have
Oh
they affected any of your situationships?
yeah, so I have like okay, I got two different personalities. We're going to start there, and one of my personalities got like a list of toxic traits, but the new personality that I got is slowly cutting some of them toxic traits out. But whether you acknowledge or don't acknowledge your toxic traits, I mean, I feel like everybody has a little bit of it in them. But it's just about the situations that you put yourself in at hand to determine that toxic trait coming out or not. Because we're all capable of doing and not doing, but our minds don't always say that.
So the question is, what are your toxic traits?
Oh, I don't want to say those. Let's just say, like, you know, one thing. Well, I heard you saying something about like not cutting off your
I can't hear y'all at
access.
all, so I'll catch up with y'all a little later.
Okay. So one of them toxic traits is like cutting off your old strings or old flings. That's one of my toxic traits. And probably my personality is a flirty personality, but I don't always mean to be flirty.
Okay. Dre.
I'm a perfectionist. Um, that's my biggest toxic trait. I am a perfectionist, and when things don't go the way it's supposed to go, which is the way that I have deemed it to go, we have a problem. Because my way is usually right. I've prayed about it. I've seen the vision, and we're going for it. And if you can't get with, you can get going. That's
Okay.
always been my motto. But
So,
but 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 can I be real though?
mhm.
90% of the stuff that I say is going to happen happens the exact way I say it's going to happen. My
Okay.
intuition is my intuition is fire, but my vision is greater. And so I can see things the way that they're supposed to go. Like I don't go into relationships without knowing which way it's going to go. So have they ever affected a situationship or a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Most times they have because most people that I've dealt with are not perfectionist people and they don't operate in the spirit of excellency. They just believe I'm going to wake up and whatever happens today happens. That ain't how I flow. And so I'm not one of those, let's just see what happens type people. And so most times it ended with somebody being single that now realizes they lost a great thing and they can't get it back.
Hmm.
And I don't
Okay.
spend blocks.
You said you don't what?
And I don't spend blocks.
Okay, once it's done, it's done. Okay. I think before the dynamic duo popped up, I think we were about to go to Stan.
Hmm. More toxic traits. Um, I, uh, I guess actually, I never, I don't, I got toxic traits, but it's only when people bring them out of you,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm one of those people that uh, I don't dive into trying to control somebody, or you know, you just the thing I learned is when uh, dealing with relationships, I hate being asked where I've been. I hate being asked certain things. Um, and this is and I just but then once you start that with me, now my toxic traits is going to come out, and then I'm going to start doing the same things to you. Um, I mean it's I mean at this point right now in my life, it's just certain things I don't, like any relationship I'm in now. It's um out it's just it's an enjoyable relationship. I don't, you know like I'm seeing somebody now, and this is somebody I had seen years ago, but um and the reason that we broke up, because I mean I'm talking like 10 years ago, um is because at that point, I was just out there, and they were, but I mean anyway, but now uh I've learned a lot of things, and so I'm a lot more, a lot more mature with things, and so um I'm getting everything out of it that I want, but it's nothing toxic with it, because we're not playing mental games with each other. So we're not doing the games and all these things that go on in relationships. And so um, right now, I don't have any toxic traits, because I mean, it's everything I want it to be. And even then, uh, just for them to put up with some of the, narcissist, I was really a narcissist, to be honest with you. And I admit that back then. And I overcame a lot of those traits. And that's when I realized that you can't control another human being. I was very manipulative with things. It always had to be my way. Go back to something like what Smack was saying. Everything that when, like Smack said, she took responsibility for all the toxic shit she was doing, because she brought it on herself. She took response. So I was the same way. So Uh, and after a while, and all the shit that goes on in your life, I just decided uh, that the stuff I wanted, but anyway, just right now I have no toxic traits, because I'm not dealing with anybody that brings those traits out of me, because we're not dealing with the love and the mind game. So we're not into all that shit, and who's gonna be jealous and making somebody jealous and all that kind of stuff. I'm not in that now. But um, but my toxic trait was, yeah, I was a narcissist. I wanted to control. I was manipulative. Uh, I was never gonna get. Nobody's ever gonna get a one up on me. You know, I was an asshole. I tried to break, because in order to control people, you got to break them down. You have to have the control. They had to come to you for everything, you know. And I went through that, and so um, I gave you all my toxic traits. So I
Indeed,
was
you
a
do.
motherfucker, man. Uh, and like one time, one of the girls was talking to my mother, like, I don't like the way Stan is, and my mother's like, hey, look, I tell anybody come to me, he ain't no day at the beach, you know. And I used to tell my mother, why do you tell people that? She said, she said, well, even when you don't bring, she said, then don't bring them around me. Because I'm giving the truth. And as soon as I meet them, I'm going to say, number one, you ain't seen all his colors. Number two, he ain't no day at the beach. And as soon as they sit back and say, Miss Lucas, your son is so great. And she said, she said, I just have to sit back and laugh. Baby, you just don't know. But yeah, so I learned a lot. So those are all my toxic traits. And right now, I'm not exercising any of them because I addressed them. And so right now, I'm just, and like I say, I'm not in no games and mental shit and jealousy shit and all that. Right now, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. I really am. So, but yeah.
Okay, Stan. I think it takes a big person to really be able to acknowledge their traits. That's one of the reasons why I threw it in, because most of the questions are about our experiences or things that were done to us. It's not, our questioning is never done from the direction of what did we do.
Right.
So so I just tried to shake it up a little bit. We got Kaylani. You in the house, mamas? Let's throw Kaylani straight in the hot seat.
Oh God, Tim.
Love you.
Love you more. Question is, what are my toxic traits?
Yes, and how did they affect
Okay.
any of you? What are your toxic traits, and how did they affect your situationship?
My toxic trait, the main one is I'm very analytical. I analyze everything, down to the look, the grunts. I will dissect everything. Um, because I've dealt with a whole bunch of people that just lie so bad. But anyway, I'm very analytical. I'm kind of like
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's gonna be good. She laughing too much.
yeah. He said he was a big flirt. Who said they was a big flirt? I'm a big flirt and don't even know it sometimes because I'm just genuinely nice to people,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of take it to a different level. So that's one thing that's probably toxic. Because if I know it gets on your nerves, I'll do it all the time. I will. I'll do it. So you can't be around me thinking, not being confident and all that, because I'm gonna do it if I know it makes you mad. Um, I'm very argumentative. hmm I used to fight a lot. I used to be very physical. But when I got married, at the time, my husband said to me, because I went to raise my hand to him, and he said, "I'm gonna tell you right now, if you hit me, we're gonna fight." And I knew from the way he said
He
that,
was serious.
I probably wasn't gonna win. So, So I was just like, maybe I should just kind of calm down. But that was in my younger years. So I don't do too much of that now because I'm just in a place where Stan said something like the first episode I was on, he said something that has resonated with me every day. And he said this phrase that says, relationships should be enjoyed. And so every time I'm dealing with an individual, whether it's friendship, relationship, business, I'm supposed to enjoy this. And whenever it becomes a burden, not saying that we won't have like things that we gotta work through
Right.
and all that, but when it becomes a burden and a whole lot of work for me to get to the fun part, I probably shouldn't be
Yep.
doing this with you. So yeah, those are my toxic traits. And I'm mean. I'm really mean. People think I'm nice. I'm mean. I really, really am.
Yeah.
I'm working on it though. I'm working on it.
Okay, Miss Karen. Okay, Kaylani. We are going to go to one of my fave, Peirrce.
Hold up, I wasn't one of your faves.
You're the fave. You're the fave of all faves.
Oh, okay. But I love Pierce too. Hey, Pierce.
Oh God, do I gotta really tell my toxic traits? Y'all probably won't even believe them if I told you.
I'm taking notes.
I am. I'm a very confrontational person.
Wow.
Yes.
Hmm.
If Vonda was on here, she'll tell you that I'm confrontational. And I think she balances me out because when she sees that part coming, she'll become that middle barrier that'll do the confronting. Because when I go to get confrontational, and I don't care who you are, what size you are, I'm in your face. Like I'm like this with you.
Wow.
And it may lead somewhere else. And I'm like that. I have been like that with friends. I've been like that with family. I did it, my grandfather, I told you I was raised by him. He was a habitual cheater. And I call myself getting confrontational with a 6'3" man. And I'm only 5'6". I'm confrontational. Okay. Vonda, am I confrontational? Can I get confrontational?
You are not confrontational all the time,
But
but you can get confrontational, and it's not nice for the person who's on the other end. I feel sorry for them. You had to protect that side.
another toxic trait about me, um,
Talent.
sometimes it may come off that I'm arrogant, but I'm not. I'm just very matter of fact. I'm not going to play with you. I'm not here to play with you. It's either we're going to have a great relationship and you're going to have good energy, or I'm going to be all up in your grill and you're going to want to get the hell up away from me because I'm not playing with you like
Bang, bang.
that.
Wait.
Another toxic trait that I have, and this trait has gotten me pistol whipped. So almost death. My mind leaves relationships before my body does. I will be with you, and once my mind checks out, I'm out. And I'm in preparation, and you still sitting there believing we got this great relationship, and I'm doing my thing. And I'm like looking at you, and you're like, well, how could you do this, this, that, and the third? How did you meet somebody else? How did you get another place? How did you get your money right? Why did you do this? Well, motherfucker, I wasn't with you. I wasn't with you maybe a whole 6 months ago. I told you, but you didn't listen because you thought little mini me wasn't serious. But that's how I am. So, and it got me pistol whipped. It's fine, but that's one of my toxic traits. I don't know, Vonda, what other toxic trait do I get? Oh, another one is if you piss me all the way off, and it's through this social media, I'm coming for your ass. If I got to get on your social media, your inbox, Vonda, remember about your birthday and you got mad at me?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I felt like
Oh, I was
one
at your
thing.
friends
Yeah,
in the
and I
inboxes.
don't really, I really don't think that's a toxic trait because that's not something you do all the time.
That is a toxic trait. That's called anger to the extreme. Like
Yeah, I just
I'm
didn't
either
see that.
extremely nice or I'm extremely mad.
Yeah, they don't want to see that
The
side.
middle doesn't, I can't figure, like Vonda has a middle. She can be in the middle. I don't know how to be in the middle. It's either I'm going to be nice and we're going to be cordial, or I'm just going to tear everything the fuck up. It's just going to be tore up, and everybody going to be mad, and the chips going to fall wherever they fall. And I'm good, and I'm going to walk away and say, fuck them. I don't, they don't exist to me no more. I don't give a shit. Bye. But that's my toxic traits. And I know y'all don't believe these things because I'm an angel.
I can't hear nobody.
You're very
But
convincing. I
Yes,
believe
I
I
believe it.
believe you. I believe you.
I'm shocked, but I believe it.
It's that summer baby thing.
I could see it. When she was talking about it, I could see it. It was coming out.
Okay, Peirrce, you once again you definitely gave us our money's worth on that answer.
it.
You definitely gave us our money worth on that answer. Who's left?
And I don't even need
So
change.
we got Mr. BJ and Donna left.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna go with Donna.
Yes, sir. Um, my toxic trait. I'm an angel. Let me stop. Let me stop. Well, one of my bad toxic traits back in the days, I used to sabotage relationships that I was in because I was always scared to be in a relationship, and I would make my way to be with somebody, but I would sabotage the relationship and probably end up leaving them in the dust. That was back then. But the only thing that I can say now, I'm very sarcastic. My mouth is lethal, very bad, very bad, and I'm very rude when I don't get my way. I'm a spoiled brat. But mostly, yeah, just like my mouth is lethal. But I blame that on being a New Yorker, 'cause you had to be like that living out there.
That's a
But yeah,
cancer trait. You're a cancer, and we have those traits.
and confrontation, very confrontation, very confrontational. But as far
Stop
as like
telling
in
our
a relationship,
secrets.
but in a relationship, I'm not clingy, but I do like if I have somebody in my life, I like to be around them. And then sometimes I like my space, and I'll let them know that. But other than that, that's about it. I'm not and my feelings. If you hurt my feelings, or you don't respect my feelings, or my feelings is not worthy, I could be a little overboard with that. So that's about it. Not major. I guess it's not
Okay.
major. It might be major to somebody else, but I
It
don't
ain't
think it's
major
that.
to you. It's not major to you.
Smack is here with me. She'll go whenever you call her.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. BJ. Do you prefer Brenda or
So
BJ?
everybody knows me as Brenda, but you call me BJ. Girl,
Auntie!
Okay.
what's going
Auntie!
on? So, because he probably be chiming in. Um, I'll say two traits. So I get very jealous, and I don't know why. Maybe because I'm an Aries, jealous, and I've learned in my elder years to kind of squelch that. But I'm also very flirtatious. And just like Jay said in the comments about it, yeah, I'm glad that this one didn't come at me a couple times for being very flirtatious. Um, should I ask him, but I don't think he'll hear me. No. Oh wait, he looked up. Do I have any toxic traits? Do I have any toxic trait? It's the question that the panel is asking. So you, yeah, and you gotta speak up so they can hear you. Come on. Okay, you know what? We'll come back to that because he's thinking now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess we're gonna move on to to the next question.
You
Um.
forgot smack.
Oh, I thought I started with Smack. I'm sorry, Vonda. Smack is in the hot seat.
Y'all all went to sounding like the chipmunks. I don't know what happened. Everything went black, everything. But anyway, Peirrce missed the toxic trait, okay? She crazy about me, and she don't care if you family. She don't care who you are, right? And I'm not saying this because she's my woman. She, like she said, she'll zone out. She definitely will, because she tells me I have blinders on, so I don't see a lot that she sees,
That's a toxic trait.
and that's a toxic trait for me. I have blinders on. You know, I just see the world different than most people, and I'm sort of like a peacemaker. But when you start hearing, you know, things, you kind of, have to. I just learned how to remove the blinders on some things. But one of my toxic traits is I'm very and I don't know if she sees it as toxic, but I'm very protective. I don't even like people talking. If I don't know you, I'm gonna be all up in it. See what you're talking to her about if you've been talking too long. You know, I'm all about that energy. If I don't know you, and I know most people in her circle, so I'm very protective. I ask her a lot of questions. I want to make sure she's like, you're on your way home, and she's not used to that, but that's my toxic trait, is wanting to know where she is. But she lays me out about it.
You're too blunt. Tell that.
Oh yeah, I'm very blunt, and sometimes
You hurt people
I hurt
feelings.
people's feelings. That's just what she's been told. I'm just too
What you
blunt.
do to the DJ, you be hurting people feelings.
I didn't mean to do. Hold on. I gotta save myself here because you came to me, Queen. You know what I'm saying? My
No,
baby.
you was by me. You saw my face, and I said, "I'm about to."
Yeah, she
And
was
you was
about to.
like,
I didn't like.
"Stop."
I told her to stop, but I said I'll handle it. But at the same token, when my girl is upset and it's a special day for us, I was very blunt. I wasn't that, hey, how you doing? I wasn't that. So they got to see a side of me that a lot of people don't see. You understand what I'm saying? Like I think I was pushed to the limit because she wasn't happy on our special day and our special moment that was supposed to happen in like 20 minutes, and you know what I'm saying? And so that person saw a side of me that they never saw of me, which is the bluntness, the sternness, and I guess I did apologize
Not
because they
really.
did not. Nobody's ever seen that part. Tim, I think you may have because we've grown up together, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone else has saw it. But it's Sunday. I was very blunt, and hey, it is what it is. But I did apologize.
It was very interesting, but we understood.
Oh, you were there when that
I
happened?
was.
I
I
didn't. What
missed that.
yet?
Everybody know that you got.
We we were aware.
How were you aware? You were outside.
Everybody was talking about it,
We
Vonda.
were aware.
Vonda, I heard about it
It's
and I was
okay
in bed
though. It was
sick.
your day.
What?
I was in bed
It
sick
was
and
your
I heard
day.
about
It's okay.
Let's go on. I'm done. I don't believe that.
Everybody knows it.
I mean, we knew. It's okay.
It's okay.
About my bluntness.
No, about you going off on a
About that
DJ.
it. DJ.
situation.
Oh well, shoot. Yeah, somebody had to say something.
Like Jay
Somebody
said,
did.
very aware.
We're very aware.
You can't hold time. Oh, she was crying. Oh,
Jay's Jay's comments have been taking me out.
Jay was there too.
Jay seen it too.
Jay saw it too.
hey, Kalani, this is all I'm gonna say. If anybody should have been crying, it should have been Peirrce and the board of IME. I'm keeping it real, so I didn't see
So
all the
true.
crying. I was upstairs getting dressed. Ain't got time.
You taking me
I
out.
was
I
in my
think you
own
have
little
proven
purple.
your point, Vonda. Toxic.
Okay, so Smack was the last one for that round. Okay, so I guess I'm in the hot seat. I have two toxic traits, and I think one is a positive, and I think one is a negative. Even though the positive can cause a negative result. Um, I was the only male in my household, so I was raised to handle and cater to females a certain way. Um, with me also being the only male in the house, I was forced into a low key parental role as a very young child. So I was raised to be a provider. I was raised to take care of everything. And whereas that's a positive thing, when you are attached to the wrong person doing those things, uh, you, you end up you really end up getting hurt. If you're with the wrong person that takes your kindness as weakness and not as a blessing, you're definitely you're gonna get hurt. Because I was the type of person that I really was raised to believe if you love people, they will love you back. And if somebody's going through something, you support them and you love them through, and you do not give up on them. If it's somebody that you care about and it's somebody that you love, you do not give up on them. And that's why my last relationship lasted 3.5 years, because even though I was getting lumped the fuck up like Martin on that Tommy Hearns episode, um, I cared so much that I couldn't give up on my relationship. My second toxic trait is I'm a very laid back person. I'm an artistic person. I have a sense of humor that you wouldn't believe. But baby, if you push too many of the wrong fucking buttons with Timothy, and it's something that my enemies used to use against me as a youth, because they knew if they fucked with me enough, they didn't have to do anything to me. I would overreact and do it to myself. So that's a toxic trait that I had to learn how to control, that people, so that people would stop being able to use it to control me. Yeah, those are my toxic traits. Those are the ones that I'm aware of.
I
But
got one that you forgetting.
what's that?
Tim will come for you over his friends. Like, remember you came for me over Von? You jumped in my inbox. Tim is confrontational.
What was it about though? If it's somebody I love, damn right, I'll go head
Tim
up with a
jumped
Mack
in
truck.
my inbox with me and Vonda. He thought we was in a serious relationship. And he jumped in my inbox when we were just friends. It was like, hold on. Aren't you seeing Vonda? What you saying up on Facebook ain't looking right. And I was like, well, we just dating.
Peirrce, I have forgot all about that.
That's confrontational.
That's love for my friend.
Nah.
That's protecting my friend.
That's love.
Very
Because
I've
I
seen him
thought
toxic.
do it.
y'all
That's
were
love
But
for his
together.
friend.
I
that
thought y'all
But
were
made
I've
me
seen him
together.
do it in
that made
Philly.
me respect you and saw that you cared about Vonda when you did that, because I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of people don't. And I come
yeah. Pierce, I have forgot all about that. Now that I know you, I apologize. But I ain't know you well, and that's my baby. That's that's been my baby forever. So I'm real protective of my friends and my family. So I'm sorry, not sorry. I would do it all again for Vonda. Oh, oh. Shh. Um, yeah, I can be confrontational, but it's not something that's part of my everyday mentality. Like I said, you have to push buttons with me to get me there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna snap at you or want to jump on you over small things or the slightest little thing. If somebody, if you see me pissed off, if anybody who knows me sees me pissed off, the first thing they ask is, who did something to him? So, but what is a positive thing that came out of being in a toxic situationship or relationship? What is a positive thing that ended up coming out of a relationship that started off toxic? I want to start off with Donna.
A positive thing. Um, the positive thing for me is to look for the things in others that I had dealt with the toxic relationship. And also be more, because I'm very giving, caring. So I think it was more so to just look for the signs of that type of behavior that I dealt with in that one toxic relationship, and to not let nobody, just say anything to me because they want to, or get over on me. And yeah, and I learned to, like, give, but there's steps to, like, girlfriend, wife, so, and I tried to do for whoever, and give my all, but I've learned to see the signs, and I learned to let people not just say anything and be mean to me just because they want to, and show that, I love the person, and then I'm willing to be there for them, but you gotta give the same back to me. So
Okay. All right, Donna. Let's try Kaylani.
The question is what now?
The question is, what positive thing came out of your toxic relationship or situationship?
You said positive?
Positive.
I'm messing. Um, I
Just think
learned a
about
lot.
after the pain.
I learned a lot about me
Mm-hmm.
through that toxic relationship.
Mm.
And I had to go back and deal with the feelings of why I would stay so long, why I would deal with it for so long, and why I would contribute. Because a lot of times we talk about what they did and how they were so toxic, but we kind of fuel some of that stuff sometimes. Um, so yeah, I learned a lot. That's the positive. I make better decisions. I usually can see things from the beginning now because I don't do no compromising. I think sometimes we kind of just oh, that'll get better. Oh, that's just them. No, sometimes you just, some things are prerequisite to what life is going to be like with that individual. And we kind of just go on, and that's not just romantically, even with family and friends. I noticed that with people that we love, we have a better longevity of tolerance for them when we should be cutting them off just as quick as somebody we don't know because of their lack of respect and their lack of empathy. So I think the positive is recognizing when um, life can get toxic with a certain situation or a certain individual, when you can recognize it from the beginning and eliminate yourself from it before it gets to that level. So that is the positive for me, making better decisions.
And that was really a positive.
Mhm.
That was really a positive, Miss Kaline. Um, let's go to Peirce.
Okay. So what I took away from the negative relationships, I've learned to self-preserve. I've learned to put myself first, and anyone that wants to be with me, they have to align with me, or I'm leaving you in the dust. I don't have time to negotiate like that anymore. I don't have the patience. Um, my tolerance is very low. So we have to be very aligned in order for us to work.
That's a
Um,
cancer thing.
I've, I've also learned to be more vocal, no matter how bad it hurts the person. Um, why are you laughing?
Nah, man, go ahead.
No, I have to be because a person will really be sitting there trying to hurt you and you trying to save face, but no, I'm letting it out and I feel better. I feel better, and then we can have a genuine conversation. And then it goes back to say, if we can't, then you're not for me and you got to go. So, yeah, self preservation. Another thing that I took from relationships is stop investing so much in people that's not on your path. You're wasting your time.
Mm,
You're not getting to your ultimate outcome that way. So I've learned to
mhm,
keep on my road. And again, if you're not traveling that way, um, there's other roads. My grandfather used to always say, you drive the bus, you let a passenger on, they want to go to another destination, you kick them the fuck off because they don't belong on that bus. And that's what I have to
mm.
say.
Wow. You know what, Pierce? Listening to you talk and some of the things that you just said, I really have to go. I really have to come back and acknowledge just how confrontational that I can be. You are, because I was thinking about it after you said it, and you're right. I am confrontational, but I feel like that's the only way to find out what the actual and factual is, to just say something. I'm just not the type of person to sit up in a person's face and just grin and skin when I got something on my mind, because it's gonna eat me up. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that, and that's something that I don't actively realize about myself, that I can be confrontational. Um, thank you for that. Um, Dre and Zay,
What's the question?
What did you learn?
you're in
What
the
did you
hot
learn
seat.
positive from your negative relationships?
Um, that you gotta look for red flags before getting into the relationship, and you should never just jump into something without actually knowing it. Sometimes it's not good to just say, "Hey, this is what I like. This is what attracts me," without looking for those things that you know you don't like. So I would say more so building a friendship first before getting to that relationship of dating stage.
Okay.
I learned that I'm a bad boy. But for real, no, I've learned the power of me. Like I just learned that from every negative thing, I've picked up something that helped me grow as a person and helped me to define who I am today. And so now today, it's not a you don't have a chance of accomplishing like what some of the toxic relationships accomplished um, from before. But I don't even allow myself at this point to step into a toxic situation. So I learned that yeah, what I will take and what I will not take. That cancer side is strong. I learned how powerful these claws can lock, and I learned that we can go to we can go for the juggler and don't even have to cut you.
Is
I
everybody a
I
Cancer
see
on
you. I
here?
see you nodding your head, Peirrce. I see you nodding your head.
Is everybody a Cancer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kalani. I see 3.
Like, what is going on?
I don't understand why there's so much hatred in this spirit in this
It's
room.
not hatred, but my most toxic relationship was with a Cancer.
That's because you didn't know how great of a person you had.
It's something else.
Oh, so it was
Yes.
me, right? It was me. I'm weak. I'm weak. Cancers, y'all are so toxic.
We are not
I gotta
toxic
tell
at
y'all the
all.
truth. Y'all are toxic
Cancers
people.
are not
But it's
toxic. Cancers know what we want and what we will not settle for. And
Y'all
a lot of the
mean. Y'all are
problem is
very
that a
mean.
lot of people who date cancers want cancers to bend and mold to what they're used to. And we are not what you're used to, baby. We are a whole
And
different.
y'all have this it's my way or the highway type situation
Yeah,
going
why
on.
not?
Why should we not though?
It's my
Like
way
if
or
you
the highway
if you
Why
going
not?
grown
on.
if you're
Why
grown,
not?
it should
That's
be your way.
toxic.
It's not toxic.
Junior, are you a Cancer? No, we're
And
not
Donna
here.
talking about yeah.
That's not
Why
toxic at
not?
all.
Be in my world. Be in my world.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. It's a my way or the highway, but the highway going on the right destination. Your highway might be veering off too many places. And we're like, nah, you
Preach.
better get back on track because we ain't doing
Preach,
that.
teach.
You go over there, we
Y'all,
ain't going with you. You better get your ass over
you
here.
know what I'm
Going this
realizing?
way.
Y'all
Right.
cancers live in a delusion.
Oh,
Only
yeah.
the
Y'all live
cancer
in a
that you
delusion.
had was in a delusion.
I
We are on
can't. Oh, I'm
we are
all
on
sorry.
right,
point
all
with
Go
the
right.
ahead.
vision of relationships and the vision of what love looks like. That's why when people get a cancer, they automatically know this is going to lead to the altar. And
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
then we get to the point where we say, you know what, this ain't leading to the altar because you don't see the vision. We're visionary.
Exactly.
Y'all are very
Maybe
mean.
that's Cancer's problem, Tim.
I
Hey,
Right.
am not mean, Kalani. How rude.
hold
But
on,
hold
Kalani.
on.
I mean,
You said something, Kalani, but
I, I am noticing a little pattern here,
yes,
Smack.
and Jay, he said it right. Gemini's got Cancer beat, and I think I'll never in my life deal with Gemini
Ever.
again
I
because
agree.
y'all got that
Gemini.
double
no
face.
Gemini for me neither.
Yeah, that
That's what,
double face, I can't do it. The good twin and the bad twin all in one. When I
Mm,
can't do it.
they
But
ain't
I
no
will say this about cancers:
See,
you cancers are so headstrong about how you want it, you
right.
forget how to compromise. And
that's
I'm
I
just
think I compromise pretty good. I don't know about Donna and
I
I
do
don't know.
compromise. We
My
still
way or
here,
the highway.
right?
thank
My
you.
That's
way or the
not
highway.
compromise.
Thank you.
We
I
still
thank
here.
you. That's what I was thinking to myself, Peach. We kept you the
But you,
hell around.
but
That
you
was
know,
compromise.
in an argument, y'all can't just have like a healthy balance. Y'all got to go to hell and back.
Oh yeah,
Y'all
because
have
you
to go to
shouldn't
hell
have
and back.
drug us into it
Because
now.
you should have never lit the match to hell to begin
That's
with.
right.
all right. I ain't gonna say no more. Let's get the questions.
Yeah, let's go ahead because they got a little group. They got a little group smack. They got a little group, so it's
okay,
okay.
Donna.
I saw you, Zay, though. I
Donna,
saw
were
you.
you already in the
I
hot
got
seat?
you.
Huh?
Donna, were you already in the hot seat?
Yes.
Okay. We had Smack, Transe, Kilani,
Smack
Stan.
didn't go.
Smack didn't
Uh-uh.
go. Okay. Smart.
Yes.
And then Stan.
What was the question about cancers?
Look what Jay said.
Nope.
I mean, that's true. Peach
Ooh.
does go straight to hell. She takes it to hell.
The the question was how have toxic how did your toxic relationship affect you in a
So,
positive way?
I told y'all those that were on earlier, my toxic relationship was with myself. I had to really take a deep look at myself so that I wouldn't keep going through toxic situationships. And
Mm-hmm.
once I started to love myself and have some rules for myself and define what makes me happy and what I'm, attracted to, that's the positivity. The toxicity became less and less. You feel what I'm saying? Because I had to get me right. You know what I mean? Jumping from one relationship to the next and not healing from one, different things like that. And I don't do that now. I've even actually given up on relationships after my last one of 7 years because I felt like I let me down. I couldn't be I mean, not 7 years, 5 years. I couldn't believe I let myself go that far. And even some of the morals I had for myself, I let them down all because I was looking for love. But when we go looking for love, we got to remember who we are as a person. So that's the positivity out of it all is that I found myself and I got, and I stand toes down on what my morals are, what I believe. And if you don't align up, I don't care if you far left, there you can't be far left. That's why I like to date and get to know you. And like she always talks about being a friend and then a relationship. That's me because you may just have to stay in that friend mode and you can't come over here in a relationship with me. She didn't like how I did her, but I knew she was the one because but we had to go through that friend mode, get to know each other because when you jump too fast, that's when all that craziness start and you having things thrown at you, knives around your neck, and me picking up speakers trying to kill you with big old speaker in the house. I'm just saying, that was in my younger years, and I'm glad all that happened in my younger years because I'm a stronger woman in a relationship now. If I never learned from it, we wouldn't be going on 8 years, to be honest.
Yeah, because I would have killed you.
Yeah, but I tell you, when you stop, when Tim said it earlier, it was love in his relationship, and that's why we keep going back to things. You know what I mean? Because you love a person, and like he allowed, and not saying this in a bad way, but his ex hit him with the bottle, hit him with the second bottle. Like I got all kinds of stuff thrown out the car while it was running. I've been hit upside the head, but when you fall out of love for a person, that's when that blackout come, and that's when the speakers went rolling.
Yes.
That's when the beds start being flipped, coffee tables started being thrown, and Salisbury, Maryland is the wrong place to be getting a charge on those kind of things.
Damn sure
Anyway,
is. Okay. So Stan,
Hmm.
you are in the hot seat. Y'all ready?
Ready for what?
For Stan. Because he's in the
Oh,
hot seat.
yeah. I guess the positive thing is when you with coming out of a toxic relationship is you start valuing yourself. Um, you put yourself ahead, and the thing is, you realize some of the things that cause it. You when you enter a relationship, it's just like when you're dating somebody. It's like me personally. Uh, I don't like dating people that smoke cigarettes, and I really got an issue with that personally. And so when you with somebody that does that, and then you make the decision to say, "Hey, I'm going to try to deal with it," when you know you don't want to deal with it, and then now you're sitting back trying to change somebody because of what they do. If you're going to enter the relationship and you see that that's what they do, you know they're not going to stop. And the bottom line is, don't try to change anybody. If I date somebody and let's say I meet them and they're a sex worker, okay, I have to deal with that if I want to continue with that relationship. And if they enjoy doing it, then it's one of the things I have to accept. Because once you start trying to change people, that's where all your issues are. And then when you sit back and say, well, I'm going to go ahead and try to deal with something I'm not comfortable with, these are all things that could be avoided. Because if I change for you and then something else comes up, and the first thing I'm going to say to you is, I changed for you. I gave this up for you. I don't ever want to hear that coming from nobody. Never. That I did this for you. I changed for you. That's where your toxic shit come in. So my thing is, uh, either you're gonna choose and accept certain things, and hey, that's what I'm gonna deal with. But that's what I learned with toxic relationships. Hey, the next relationship I enter, wherever the person's like, and I just love them, I say, hey, I want to be around them. I feel they vibe. If they smoke cigarettes, it's something that I will accept and just deal with. You know what I'm saying? And then I won't have no issue with it, because the first thing is, as soon as it comes up that, hey, you know what? I really wish you stopped smoking. I don't like the smell. Well, when you met me, I was doing it. So the positive thing is that I'm not going to compromise. I don't want you to compromise. You like me the way I am. I like you the way you are, and we accept that, and that would be the thing. But trying to change and to alter your life for somebody, no, that doesn't work. And then Kalani's answer earlier, uh, and she really hit it like exactly, you know. And sometimes we fuel it ourselves because we, you know, dealing with certain things that, like I say, we just gotta accept. Hey, whatever you are, and I like what you are, and whatever bad habits you got, either I'm gonna accept them or I'm not. But I'm not gonna try to change you and make you stop doing anything, because now you're not getting the genuine person that you wanted. You're getting an altered version where somebody's trying to satisfy you and compromise. So all I'm saying is, I just learned out of it is self-love, uh, me first, and not in an arrogant way, but me taking care of me, and then people respect you when you do that. If you sit back and take everything from yourself and you give it to another person, you know, they really think about that. Like, you know, you sitting back sacrificing everything for them and ain't doing shit for yourself. People don't respect you for that because you're not giving yourself self-respect. So use me first and don't try to change nobody. And these are just things I learned. I mean, and believe me, you know, I'm a better person because of all that. Really, I am. So, and I'm a happier person because I'm not sitting, you know, I don't have this mental shit going on in my brain now. You know. So that's it.
Okay, Stan. Stan, I got a question for
Okay.
you, but I don't want. I just wanted to like answer it like when we're at the end when we all do the
Okay,
free
that's fine.
talk, because you said something during your you said something when you were just
Mhm.
speaking about having a relationship with someone who does sex
Right.
work. So don't let me forget. That's why I'm asking now, because I will
All
forget.
right.
Um, so we've had Peirrce, we've had Smack, we've had Trey and Say, we've had Kehlani. B BJ, Brenda, you're in the hot seat. What's the positive
Positive
thing
thing.
that came out of your toxic situationship?
So when I left that ex, I weight back. Because from all the stress, I wasn't eating and taking some weight. And once I finally moved, I will say away from him and down here to Delaware again and gaining weight and taking better care of myself and meeting different people.
Mm-hmm. That's your
Yeah,
answer. Okay.
yes, that's my answer.
And that was everybody, correct? Okay. And the last question of the night: your relationships or situationships gotten better or worse since you identified your toxic traits and your red flags? Has your relationship gotten better or worse? Wait a minute. I didn't answer, did I? um. So before we move on to that question, I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question real quick as part of the panel. Um, I learned to stop expecting everybody to be me. Just because I'm a loving person, just because I fend for the people that I love, just because I go hard for people I love, I had to realize just because that's me and that's what's in me to do, that everybody is not that way. Because I constantly found myself saying, I would never do that to you. And it wasn't until the day that it dawned on me that person is not you. So they're not going to care the way you do. And they're not going to converse the way they do. They're not going to communicate. They're not going to do anything the way that you do, because that's not you. And that's not an expectation that you should fairly put on people. You shouldn't automatically assume that everybody's going to do what you do, feel how you feel, see things the way you see things. Um, it just made me learn how to look for the red flags. And it made me really start to appreciate good company when I was in good company. You know, um, it made me start paying attention to people's energies and making decisions. Decisive decisions. It had me making decisions, better decisions about who I allowed in my space, who I allowed to get close to me, who I allowed to get to know me, and eventually who even has any type of access to me. So I learned how to protect myself from the things, the toxic situationships that I was in. Um, and it taught me how to love the next person better. You know, I haven't been in another relationship since that relationship, but I've dated, and it just made me more well rounded in being able to please somebody without giving them every fucking thing. Because people really don't appreciate you when you give them everything, when they don't have to work for anything. People don't appreciate you. You could give them the world, and that person will be still not content. So that's my answer. But we're gonna move along to the final question. Excuse me. What are the positive? Have your relationships gotten better? Your relationships or your situationships, have they gotten better or worse since you realized your toxic traits? I'm gonna start off with Peirrce.
Well, I'll say I don't know if they got better or worse. I just think they are more selective, so they just are more aligned with who I am and my purpose. So I guess
Mhm.
with that better.
Yeah, because it's same for me.
Yeah.
Same answer.
Yeah, it's not nothing really changed, just aligned.
Yeah.
And me and her function the same way. We got the same goals, and we just, like I said, we get on that bus and we keep that bus trucking.
I
Now it's
can't
just,
see for y'all.
yeah, and it's just a matter of who we let on our bus. And if they work, they work. If they don't, we kick them the fuck off. Well, I kick them off. Smack try to rehabilitate them and all this other stuff before they get kicked off. I'm like, nah, no
They
rehab.
gotta go.
Get them off. Get them off the bus.
She's not lying.
Oh, that was a good answer. Um, let's go with Dre and Zay.
Um, I feel like through everything we've been through, we're better now. Um, I think we both like learned a lot from previous relationships, and we're very big on communication now. That was not me at first. Let me make that point clear. I was more like, if I talk, it's because you need to listen. But I've learned to kind of listen more now, and then we move forward. So I think we're pretty good. If I'm gonna let him answer for himself, but yeah, in my eyes, things have gotten better. Xavier.
Mm, things they changed definitely. Uh, I would say some for the better. I ain't gonna say none for the worse, but for the most part, it's still a little bit of something that's missing. But for the most part, it's together. It's my
Okay.
trait that just can't seem to leave.
I agree.
Okay. uh, Kaylani, you're in the hot seat.
Before I answer, I just want to be an advocate. Anybody dating a Cancer on here, blink one if you're okay. Blink twice if you're not.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly.
If you date and married, I'm gonna help you. No, I'm messing. Let me answer. I think that a few years ago, I would say they were the same or they got worse because sometimes you get so addicted and comfortable in dysfunction that it becomes a normality for you. It becomes very normal. Um, but now I think it's better because you're making better decisions and yeah, I think it's better. Current relationships are so much better. I speak up, like Peirrce said, I speak up more now. If I ain't with it, I'm not with it, and I get out as fast as I can get out. So yeah, better, whole lot better, cause I'm not with a Cancer.
Anywho,
You are on mute. What are you saying?
I put it on mute because I was coughing. I'm sorry. Um, she was on point. She was on y'all cancers. She was on y'all cancers. Um, Donna, you're in the hot seat.
Donna's not in here.
Okay. Trey and Zay. Smack.
She did.
Smack going too?
My answer was the same as Queen's. I said what she
Okay.
said, ditto.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so I guess it's what, Brenda and me left?
And Stan.
Stan, you're in the hot seat.
Oh, okay. Uh, it's better. I mean, it's better. So, better person. Uh, so yeah, you learn those things. You become a better person. You understand. I became a better listener to people and So all I can say is all around better. I'm happier, you know. So
All right, so it seems like overall everybody grew past and learned from their experiences.
yeah.
That's great. So, does anybody have any questions?
You forgot Brenda.
Is she still on here? When I call her,
Hello.
hey Brenda, you're in the hot seat, sweetheart.
See, forgot about the old person. I know. I say I agree. It's
So,
better because
you know I'm getting
now
old.
I'm dating. Now I'm dating an Aries, just like me, and it's funny because a lot of the things that he went through in his relationship, I can see I went through. So we're actually learning from each other. Um, Sometimes I think that he doesn't hear me.
Mm,
He does, but yeah, it's been better. It's yeah, I agree with everybody else. It's better now. So you have it.
okay. So it seems like that, despite everybody's experiences, despite everybody's traumas, it seems like all of these experiences eventually took us to a better place or led to us realizing certain things about ourselves that made our lives better or our relationships, the situationships better. Um, it was this was like a really interesting show, and I kind of rearranged some of the questions in different ways than we're normally um, than we normally do, because normally we reflect we cast a reflection on our situations and the people that cause them. We don't really acknowledge the faults within ourselves too often. So it is just like every show, I learn more and more about everybody on the cast, and I fall in love with everybody on the cast like that much more. Um, y'all are just an amazing group of people. I enjoyed the show tonight. I enjoy working with y'all. Peirrce, this is
Uh-huh.
all yours. Open,
All
open
right. So
floor.
open floor. Does anybody have any questions for each other? Did you learn anything different about one another tonight?
I was just wondering if, like, do y'all agree with or don't agree with the fact that whether you single or non-single, you still have toxic traits inside of yourself?
Oh yes, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Toxic is toxic.
For sure.
Right. It's
Yeah, I
it's
think that they are
nothing.
just more highlighted when you're in a relationship because you have interaction with someone.
Hmm.
Right.
But you
Right.
definitely
I
got
agree.
it.
Right, right.
But are they toxic though? Because I'm a firm believer that you may be toxic to one person, but with another person, you're perfect for them.
Right.
Perfect.
That's true because
But are
That,
you
everybody
that,
really
Exactly.
that is
perfect to
deserves
that
definitely
perfect.
true.
Yeah.
person, or you just putting your toxic aside? You know what I'm saying?
Or you find somebody who compromises with your toxic, who matches your toxicity.
Okay. All right.
That's what I
Yeah.
just said.
Mhm.
All right.
That's
Is that what somebody else just said that, right?
I said the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just got two people that are toxic together and they're just better for each other.
All right.
Okay, so
I don't
so
think we talk.
Stan,
Hmm.
Oh
Stan,
yeah. Stan's
Mm-hmm.
back to
question.
that question. How? See, I have a problem sharing. I can't share with somebody that I care about. So how how is it that I mean, how can I say it without sound like a dickhead? Um, fuck it. I'm just gonna say it.
All right.
How do you date someone who's in the sex industry, because I met some
Easy.
beautiful people. I met some beautiful people, but I could not take that somebody else will be touching on my other half for a living.
It's just
Um,
sex.
Yes, it's just sex. That's what
it's
my
But
mom said.
but okay,
It's
so if
sex.
me and Vonda were to go in the other room and have sex, you would be cool with that? Because
That
it's
would
just
never
sex.
happen. Say that.
Hey,
Hold on
it's just a
now.
Oh, oh,
question.
That's a
oh,
little
oh.
extreme. Hold on.
he's talking
um,
about dating. Like he
I would, if me and Vonda had a conversation and I knew that was her job, I'm respecting it. It is what it is. That's what you do. The
right.
problem for me is if you're unprotected and if you're hiding it, then I got a problem. In a
Right.
relationship, me and you supposed to have a conversation to say, this is who I am, this is what I'm into, this is what I'm doing, and then we compromise. If I'm not with it, then I'm not with it.
Yeah, I mean, I comprehend all that. I was
Yeah.
just asking Stan personally how he does it. Like,
I
because
mean, I'm not dating a sex worker. I have,
yeah,
and I've dated two sex workers before, and
But they were
in
sex
relationships
workers
with it.
when you met them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah. And when I they were sex workers when I met them, so I accepted that. The only issue I ever had with it is I wasn't concerned so much about um, the sex they were having, but it was like we could be like chilling out and shit, and then a client will call, and then we have to stop doing what we're doing. I'll go into
Yeah.
another room and then let her
right,
take care of her shit.
It's a
And
24-hour
yeah,
job.
then, that was the only thing that was the issue. And then the part where she have to come back and feel like I don't want him to feel insecure, like this man fucked me better than he fucked me. And so she would go out her way to like let me know. It became phony. Like, and I know I ain't the greatest guy out there fucking nobody. And I know she was dating guys that were banging the fuck out of her. But when she would sit back
They were
and
also
try
paying.
to, huh?
I said
Try
they were
to,
also paying.
right. So that's what I'm saying. So I benefited too.
Right. It was a
But
check.
yeah. And so that was the only thing. I mean, it was no, I wasn't insecure about it. It's just like I could be sitting back and we could be chilling at midnight, and a client will call her at 2 in the morning, and then that's some money. So now I gotta get up, get out, go into the room, and then let her do what she gonna do, and I didn't have any issues with all that shit, but it just became I just had certain issues with the time, and that's what she did, and I wasn't trying to change that. And if she decided, hey, look, I want to give this shit up and just be with you, that's her decision. But it was never anything I was ever going to say, hey, you know what, I got a problem with this, you're going to have to, it was my choice.
I had a
But yeah,
question.
sure.
Did you ever? Well, I have two questions, but my first question is: did you ever look at her like in disgust for her being with somebody else, getting paid for it, and then coming back, getting into bed with you?
Never, never.
Okay.
I never had an issue with that.
But here's what's funny about all of this. People got a problem with sex workers, but half of y'all boyfriends and girlfriends are unpaid sex workers.
Pretty much.
They're
Yeah,
out
At
there
least she was
getting it
getting a
in
check.
for free, and you don't know.
that's the truth.
yeah, that's true.
They
That's
laying
true.
down for free
Yep,
and
especially in like
bringing
the
you back
trans
to
community,
pieces.
Kalani, especially in the whole trans community, that's the issue. That's the subject there because and it's not by so much choice. A lot of these girls do it, and I can believe me, I know that it ain't like they just out there because sometimes there was no choice.
Right.
And I totally yeah. And then a lot of guys will date, just like Kalani. Let's say, for instance, you get in a relationship with somebody, and let's say you used to be a sex worker, but you stopped. You'll meet a guy that knew you was a sex worker and still have fucking issues with it. You know,
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of things that happen with these girls. The trans girls really go through a lot of shit people don't know. They
No,
Yeah.
really
they
don't know.
do.
I do
They
want to
they
make it clear
really
I'm
do.
not a sex worker.
You know.
I do want to make
They
that
really do.
clear.
I'm, I mean,
What'd you
I
say,
have a
Kalani?
lot of.
I said I just want to make that clear. I'm not a sex worker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I do understand, where they come from, where they be coming from. I got a question for you though. My second question was,
Mhm.
would you feel differently if you were dating someone and they wanted to do sex work after you dated them? Like after you were in a relationship with them. They wasn't a sex worker at first, but now the wheels are starting to turn. They know how much money they can make, things like that. How would you feel about that?
All right. You know what? That's a great question too. Now, I don't know if you all knew there's a thing called Hush Night that goes on in Atlanta,
Oh, hush night.
and that's trans strippers. I'm one of the guys that created that. Um,
Why am I not
and
surprised?
yeah, but come on, Connie.
No,
So,
I'm saying I could see you doing that.
and
I didn't mean it like that.
I stopped doing it, but I was one of the creators. Me and another guy. We came up with Hush Night, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a trans stripper night. And right now he's continuing doing it. I stopped doing it because of the fact that I just my ambitions was going into other things instead of
Right.
the stripping and the sex work. But to answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I because I was dating a girl at that time that
Right.
saw the money and the potential in stripping, and then she was my woman, but she wanted to sit back and say, "Hey, it's a job. Stan, they making all this fucking money. I could get up here and do this." That really fucked with me, and I thought I was more open minded. But Kalani, what you said, yeah, I had an
Okay,
issue with that.
and that's stripping.
Right?
That's just taking clothes off.
No, because
There's strippers that do other things now.
right, it
Well,
went
well,
from okay, I can do the
well,
lap
that's sex
dance,
work now.
huh?
Can
Well, you
be.
said stripping, but that's sex work.
Strip and sex work can actually go together because when you do them private sessions, you might be doing other
The
things.
stripping wasn't an issue, but then again, I had an
I get what you're
issue
saying, Zach.
because even with her, even giving a guy a lap dance, and this is something like I said, when I met her, she wasn't doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
then she wanted to do it, and then I know where it goes with that. You get back, okay, you do a lap dance, and then hey, we can take it to the next level. We can go into a private room. We can do this. So when I met, she wasn't doing it then, but then when she started getting caught up in it and like, hey, I like coming here with you. I got to a point I didn't even want to come with me to those hush nights because I just didn't want her to see the shit. And then
You
you
didn't
around
want
all
her
these
to be
other girls.
corrected.
So yeah, the thing is, yeah, I had if I was dating her and she was doing it, but when she wanted to do it, and I'm surprised, going, how would you even know to come up with that question? that
I don't
Um,
know.
well,
I mean, that
Maybe
actually,
I
yeah.
thought about it. I don't know.
Well,
But yeah, I couldn't. I once she wanted to do it, it just took something away, and then when I had an issue with that,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
right.
you
See,
Wow.
know.
the reason I asked is because I have a lot of associates that are sex workers.
Hmm.
Well, Stan, that a lot of the girls that are entertainers are also sex workers,
Yeah.
we got
and
some sex workers.
and
Wow. What
quite
on
a
the
few,
phone?
Different
quite a
names.
few.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You said what?
I just think there should be a better name than sex workers. It
Uh,
sounds a little derogatory.
Well, I mean, it's what it
Yeah.
is. I mean, and that's really even with the girls, they term it that way. They even use that terminology.
yeah, I was getting ready to say that's what
Yeah,
they call
because
them
some of them
pimps.
don't make enough money for them to be called escorts.
Well, they really. Well, you look at an escort.
Let me finish what I was saying, y'all, because I
Yeah.
guess that's the toxic trait in me. I don't want our community looking at it in a derogatory way. I wish we could find a better name that better suits it. I just think
Prostitution.
sex worker. It
Prostitution.
sounds like prostitution.
Prostitution.
And then,
Well,
and then, and
actually,
Sex
then,
sex
worker
work.
is the
That's
better
what it
name.
is.
and
Yeah, sex worker is the chosen terminology for
Let Tina
prostitution now.
finish. She was saying
So
that.
it's
Hmm?
yeah, let me finish what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you're in a relationship, this is just how I feel. If you're in a relationship and your other half wants to turn to sex working, to be a sex worker, then that means that you're not doing your job. That's how I feel. If they have to turn to sex working in order to make ends meet in the house, one of the two need to get out there and either get a second job. This is just how I feel. This is my opinion.
Right.
If we got to turn to sex working to make ends meet in the house, or are we turning to sex working because we want to feel something different than what we getting at home? If you're in a relationship and you weren't a sex worker before then, you know what I mean? And you're in a relationship with someone and you only doing it to make, ends meet in the household. There's too many jobs out here that you can do without becoming a sex
You
worker. This is just my opinion.
Well,
really
But
Smack,
don't.
not
that's
in the
not.
trans community.
It's
Vonda.
hard
well,
for people to
Not
get
in the
the
trans
Vonda.
job.
community.
Here's one thing. Here's one thing that you have to realize that every trans girl is not passable. Every trans girl can't change their name and go and work in every environment
Yeah.
safely. And I do
Okay,
agree with you though.
everything that you're saying, I understand, right? But that's the point of the
A partner.
But
no,
sometimes, Smack, it ain't even about. It ain't about. Okay, I'm going to do this, put food on the table, and that my man ain't doing nothing. Some people
She
just
wanna
find that.
she
Some
wanna
people just
finish
She
what
find
she's
it.
wasn't
saying.
done.
She wasn't done.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I hate being cut off. I just want to let everybody know that I just think that when you're in a relationship, your other half, just as like Peirrce, and just to say she should not have to stoop to that to make ends meet. If anything, let me go out here and get the job. Let me go out here and get some training. Let me provide for us. I don't want you to have to do that.
See, Smack, what you're doing now, you're belittling what people are doing. They
I'm
not
not.
necessarily
Did
they
I
not
belittle?
necessarily doing it because it's like, oh, I got to stoop to this low. It ain't stooping to nothing. Some people find excitement and do it. There's money in it. Some people want to do it. You can't down.
I'm talking
I
about
don't
the
think she.
You
I don't
can't
think
relationship
down
she's
people
down
part.
in
saying,
this thing.
well,
She
you
just putting
stooping
two
low to do
sides
this.
to it.
No.
I'm talking about the
That's her
relationship
opinion.
part.
Yeah,
It's just, and I said, this is how I feel. If I'm
Right.
in a relationship,
Right.
you off on your own, you got to do what you got to do. But
Right.
when you're committed to someone and you're in a relationship and you're out there going to do sex work because you enjoy it, because I just don't think that's right. I think the other person in the relationship, if they can't secure the job and you didn't meet them during sex working, they
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have to go and do something that they're not used to, that they've never had to do before. The other half need to pull their weight.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
get that.
Now that's not belittling.
It's not.
No.
But what I'm saying
That's
is,
having
it
relationship goals. Because I said relationship. You're
right.
committed in one.
She didn't say people that are just out
All
here.
right. Well, you know what? I'm done. I'm not. You're right.
Yeah,
It's
I
not, I
think
can't
to put it
say
in
it.
perspective, she's saying that when you're in a relationship, somebody, if you're in, it's a partnership. So nobody should have to go do something like that to make ends meet or to bring money in. If you're doing it for fun, that's one thing. If you're doing it, because you want to do it and you want to make money, whatever. But to have to do it should not be a necessity or a requirement for you to have to go out there and make it happen like that. I understand what she's saying. Stan, what you're saying is trans women everywhere, we have to do things that most people, would probably look at and be like, what the heck? But we have to do what we got to do. I mean, everybody's not passable. Everybody can't work where, the rest of us work at. it's rough out here, and in no way are we trying to say that sex work is bottom of the barrel or it's bad work, because people got to do what they got to do. Um, I've always commended people who do it, because there's been time I've done it for free and didn't get no pleasure out of it. They got pleasure and I didn't. I should have been paid.
Yeah.
So I mean, at least they understand their worth to that extent, to say, hey, I'm not gonna do this and just let you get pleasure and then I leave with nothing. So
Got you.
yeah.
Stan,
It is what it is. I
Stan,
didn't even make it a sex work thing, but yeah, whatever.
the reason why I asked the question is because I just wanted to check myself and not just make sure that I wasn't being selfish, or you know what I'm saying, uh, having a
Selfish.
lack of empathy. Because I didn't want to date somebody who I don't believe in sharing the person that I'm with. If I gotta share you, then we can just be friends with benefits, or we can just be fuck
I
buddies.
don't know.
But
You don't think in your mind you could separate that that's a
That's what I
job?
was about to say. The problem,
You
the
understand what I'm
problem
saying?
is society has put a stigma on sex work. Sex work has been a career before any of the things we are doing now. So I don't know
And
why
it's not
people
going out of
look at
well,
it
business.
that way.
well, but but that's not the angle that I'm coming from, because I got people in my family that are sex workers, my blood family. So that's not the angle that I'm coming from.
But could you date
My thing
somebody who
is
did sex work?
no, because I
You
was
can't
raised
separate it?
I was raised like this. If you are a committed relationship, nobody is supposed to have access to certain things but your other half. Shouldn't nobody be touching on you? Shouldn't nobody be fucking on you? And I shouldn't have to share.
I get that.
And that's my comfort zone for a relationship. I don't look down on sex workers, because when I go out here, and Brenda will tell you, a third of the girls in every show are out hustling after the shows, and these are my good friends from 20 to 30 years. You know
What's
what
a
I'm saying? So
hustle?
I don't have a problem with sex workers, and I actually do understand the angle as to why some of them are out there. But I was asking for myself, just to make sure that I wasn't being selfish, or some people can't think outside of their frame of thought, and their frame of thought is the end, and that's it. I'm not one of those type of people. I'm the type of person that sits back and look at a situation, and then I bounce it around in my head, and then I immediately start asking questions so that I can comprehend it, build my knowledge on
Hmm.
it, and not offend anybody or put my fucking foot in my mouth.
So,
So,
so
everybody who can't date a sex worker doesn't look down on sex workers. It's not about the
that's
sex work. It's about somebody else touching the
so
person
your
that's
answer is
mine.
no to my question? That you
Yeah,
cannot
I guess.
separate that this is a job and this is my partner.
It's not about the job. It's about another man touching mine.
But
It's
that
about
is the
another man
job.
fucking
That is
mine.
the job.
That is the job, but we're not trying to take tats.
So, I mean, what
Or
do you want? If you
no problem with doing
I
it while
understand
y'all are
that. I'm
together
right,
just
because
saying
that's
you
what
can't
you're doing together.
separate in
you,
your mind
I
that this
mean,
is a
so
job and
so
this is
do
my
you
partner.
think if you keep asking me the question over and over again that I'm gonna say something
No, it's
different?
No,
because you keep answering it like I'm wanting you to say that you look down on them, or you that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Kalani
in your
seems
mind,
to want you to understand. Can you separate that it's a job? Does
right?
your mind allow you to see that
Could
it's
you
a
resolve that?
job, that you're personalizing a
I
job?
mean, my intelligent mentality, I know it's a job. I know it's a job. I mean, I just told y'all that I have friends that have done this. When I was in ballroom houses, I would actually go out on the stroll with my sisters
Yeah, but
and
it's
protect
it's
them while they were
different. It's
turning trick.
different from
From a
them doing it
relationship
than the
point.
person that you're sleeping.
Okay. But my point is, no, I don't look down on sex workers.
Kalani, you're not going to get what you want because he doesn't look at it that way. You're
I'm
not
just
going to get
asking.
that.
I just want to know.
You're
Can
not
you,
going to
in
get
your
what.
mind, separate that this
Right.
is a job
No, he's not.
Apparently
He
not.
and
doesn't
this
get
is a
it.
He
person?
can't. He's
He
not.
can't.
He's not
He
Don't
going to
look
can't.
down. I
separate
don't
it.
need you to look down on him. I don't need you to.
Nope, neither.
I just need to know. Can you resolve in your mind? This is sex, yes, but it's a job, and this is the person over here.
Right.
No.
Can there be a separation?
Yeah, that for me it can be a separation because if that's what you decide, that's what you do to make your money. I look at it different if I'm in a relationship and the
Mhm.
person that I'm with, that I
Right,
did not meet you in that
right.
aspect, and now you think you need to go out here and sell your body to make money to make ends meet. Nah, let me get out here, and if I gotta work 4 damn jobs, I'm gonna do that so you don't have to do that.
But that's not what Kalani's
Yeah, I
saying.
know, but I told her I can separate the two.
Right. But what if you met them and their job was being a
But
sex?
that's what she's saying.
If
Even
I
if she
met
met
them
him,
and
she
that
probably
was
wouldn't
their
deal with him.
job, that's not someone whom I can be with
Right.
I can because I'm not. I'm being honest. I could not. I've n- I've had been attracted to girls stripping in the club, but I never wanted them to be my girl because it's not
They
just
everybody's girl.
me and her. It's whoever
There,
they're
that's the
paying her
point.
the money. And even if I had a friend who dated a stripper and their relationship ain't last because the expressions that would be on her face, even though they may have been fake or whatever, the person she was really in a relationship with saw that she had more excitement pleasing someone else than pleasing her own woman. So that relationship didn't last. I couldn't do that because of the stories I've heard. I that's just not me.
Vonda, I'm a sex worker.
No, you're not.
And I don't think I can't speak for all of them. I know some
Now
of them.
listen here, Miss Minnie, don't start no shit over there.
I can speak for some of them, not all of them. But a lot of times people think that it's the excitement of being with someone else. Money makes them come.
Right.
If I may.
A lot of these girls,
It's
a
Yeah,
it's
lot
the
of
that
girls
money.
that
is
do
true.
sex work,
People are
That's true.
motivated by
they deal
that.
with people they would never deal with.
Yeah,
They deal with people that they deal with some
To make
to
their
disgusting
make
ass
the
point.
money.
motherfuckers and sit back and do some shit that I say there's not no amount of money that'll make me sit back and fuck with certain people, and they'll
Yeah,
do it. So
yeah.
so
Everybody
it's a
has
lot,
types, I think, though.
you know, and I just so it's,
I think this needs to. Well, no, let's not make this a topic because this
it
can.
should be though, really,
That
But it
would be
should be because
a
it should be a
I
topic,
think that you should hear from people who are in the life, who have been in the
right?
life, who have done it. Because I can't speak for them because I've never had to do it. I've never
Kalani,
been
you
in a
hit on the
situation
head
where I had to.
exactly.
So,
It's a
but I
topic,
just know some of the things that they deal with. So yeah, but it should be a topic. You should talk to some of them to
and
get their
I
perspective
know
on
I
it.
know I know I knew like girls that I know one girl right now that swore up and down. I would never sit back and be a stripper, and I would never do this.
You
If
don't
I
know
had to
what you'll
work a
do.
job and make $7 an hour, I'll do that before I do that. She's one of the biggest girls out here right fucking now. That
Making
I mean,
money.
and vow and then would say, I don't care, Stan, whatever. I if I had to make $7 an hour, I would never do my body and sacrifice myself. Shit, she didn't spend $15,000 on some tits and some ass, and is out here one of the
15,000.
biggest
What she
girls right now.
doing?
And she didn't do it because of necessity and being broke and shit. She did it because it's a job that makes a lot of fucking money. It wasn't
It's
like,
money
oh,
in
I'm
it.
poor and broke. It's money. You know, Magic City out here. These girls are making $8,000-9,000 a week. It ain't
You're
because
always
they
gonna have a
broke and
job.
shit. They doing it because it's money. And then guess what? They got husbands and boyfriends that can separate it and say, hey, shit, my bitch is going to work. That's her
Hey,
job. And
do
bring
it.
it.
I'm with it. Do what you got to do. And if
Exactly.
you got to leave people in the dust because they can't accept you, leave them in the dust.
It's all individual choices.
Hey, it's somebody for everybody, I guess.
Yeah. You know. So anyway.
Any other questions that the panel has for each other based off of what you heard tonight, or you can't believe that the person is the way they are, the people that everything you heard?
Oh, I do want to clear one thing again. I'm not
You're
a
not a
sex
sex
worker.
worker.
I'm not a sex worker.
That's what your
Kalani, we
page
know.
said.
I'm not.
I think studs would make excellent sex workers. They don't use their own body parts. They could just pull out the dildo and
That's true. That's true.
Hmm.
Mm, I'm in the
Well,
wrong
there's some that
business.
do now. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. A
Look at
lot of
Smack like, what in the world? Look at Vonda is like, what in the world?
there's a lot of them that
I
do.
mean, I know a few. I know a few in Philly who get the job done. Shoot.
Yeah.
I do have a question, Vonda. Smack.
smack.
Did you know she thought like this when you walked down the aisle Sunday? Did you know Peirrce was thinking like this?
So I know how to bring it back to Queen. That's why I talk about that cancer stuff.
Yeah,
That cancer zodiac off the chain, man.
yeah. I'm looking
That is
blink once
personal
for
cancer
okay,
trait.
blink
You will
twice
not
for
put that on
yeah.
all cancers.
Man.
Look,
Mm.
tell her to keep that Miss Minnie packed up somewhere else, right?
That's right.
I love y'all. Y'all so crazy.
Y'all too much, man. But
Check
these
it
are,
out.
but you know what? With this panel, it just shows you so much that is out here, and so much that we all don't understand, and we all don't relate to because we not in those situations, and we all come from different, diverse situations. And so that's the good part about it is that I'm learning, sir. I learn every week on certain things that I don't know,
So true.
and I do,
All right. So let's get ready to close out and talk about what we learned. Smack, what did you learn tonight?
I just learned that, to be honest, I never looked at when I hear sex worker, I think of something different, right?
Right.
I got
Mm-hmm.
educated on it, but I learned tonight that my stance still stays the same.
All right.
Be a sex worker?
Okay, okay.
But if I got to, ring a
You ain't,
ling.
hey, you ain't got to.
We got Hush Night here in Atlanta.
Other jobs, I will. So you don't have to.
Okay. Tim, what you learned tonight?
I learned that Kaylani is not a sex worker.
Okay. Make sure y'all got it.
No, I just learned a lot. I got a lot of food of thought for myself, but once again, I learned even more about the panel and our similarities and our differences, and how our similarities and differences still kind of complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Dre, what you learned
All right.
tonight?
I learned, Peach, that people really be hating on us cancers. But they refuse to acknowledge that the world cannot survive without us. We are what makes the world great.
Peach, turn Dre's mic off.
Right.
Always the haters with the bobs.
T-
But anywho,
Right.
Dre, I'm gonna
but
get you.
also learned that we are a interesting panel, and I think it's our differences that makes the show great. It's what we don't see eye to eye on that makes the show great. I feel like we all have to just come to a point of acknowledging that we would never look at things through the same lens. But just because we don't see everything through the same lens doesn't mean that either of our lenses is more foggier or more dirtier than the other.
I think yours is a little foggy.
Kalani, what have you learned tonight?
I learned that this panel is toxic as y'all toxic, but I love it. We all toxic. No, but for real. I just want to make it.
We know, Kalani, you're not a sex
Not a
worker.
sex worker.
She froze, but we
Yeah.
know you're not a sex worker. You meant it this time.
Well, was it
you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back. Every time I'm going to lay y'all out, it's like ghost.
That's from all that baby oil you stole from Diddy.
Dre. Okay, Dre. Me and you after the show. I learned that y'all are toxic, but I love it. This is a dysfunction I'm gonna learn to get used to. I love it. All of our differences coming together. And I'm not a sex worker. Y'all stop, like, for real. For real, I'm not a sex worker. Now, I ain't gonna say what I won't do for the right price. All right. That's what I learned. Oh, and Peirrce. Girl, I'm shocked.
What? About me?
Yes. I learned a lot about you tonight. A whole lot. That I didn't know Sunday. While we sat at the table.
Oh, Lord. Go ahead. Show them what I gave you on Saturday.
I hope I got it in here still. I don't think I got it in here. Did I?
I think you did.
It's in here. I know it's in here. Yeah.
Oh.
Peirrce gave this to me. It came out of her little goodie bag.
How you know what that is?
We might have to play this one night, y'all.
It's a game, a card game for sex.
She didn't want to play.
Card game for sex.
Or bedroom commands.
Yeah, I know you ain't gonna listen to them commands.
Bedroom commands.
And then she got some spray.
Oh yeah, I got some watermelon scented lubricant.
Oh.
Who said Stan? I knew it was Stan.
Watermelon is my favorite fruit to eat.
This was gonna be in the gift bag.
Listen.
I love watermelon.
If the fist was in the gift bag, I would have just took that and just stuck it in my purse. I was like, okay, Peach, after that.
Stan, what did you learn tonight?
Well, I just learned that we all see the same things, but we comprehend them differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that if we didn't have differences of how we look at things, there would be no show. Because we all thought the same and our opinions was all the same, and we agreed on everything, there's no show. And this one makes the show.
That's so true.
Yeah,
this one makes the show.
And
It'll be very blah.
So I listen for keywords.
So you get upset.
No, I don't get upset because I'm just saying there's like key words, and then I think about what was said. And I just see if I feel the same way, but I'm transparent about how I feel. But I don't think that I'm hurting anyone's feelings because it's who I am. I'm being transparent.
The thing is, I'm not. You know what?
When I lay down tonight, there is a special somewhere where it talks about I saw it somewhere about the sex work. So maybe I need to educate. I might have seen it on YouTube to hear stories of why people, do it. And it's out of Atlanta as well.
Oh yeah,
And
Atlanta's big, but there's a lot of people. There's a lot of negative with it, and there's a lot of there's negative things with everything. No matter what we do, the thing is, anybody's opinion, I'm open minded to hear it. I'm not gonna ever try to change anybody's mind to think a certain way. It's just like Smack. You can throw your opinion out there. People listen to it because that's your opinion. I can't get offended by nothing you say because that's your experience of what you related to. And so my mind is open because you've experienced a lot of things I never have. But that's your experience. And if we all thought the same and we all like if we're gonna sit on this panel and I want you to agree with everything I say, then that means I got a problem with that because I'm not gonna try to make you understand. I would never argue with anybody to say this is how it should be or think how I think. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. You can let it go on one ear, out the other ear. If it don't relate to you, so be it. But I'm not going to. I can't push my values and ideas on people. But I can express it. And then if your ideas and opinions are different than me, I'm not gonna get mad about it because that's your experience. How can I sit back and say something against what your life has been because I haven't lived your life. I haven't been in your world. I haven't been in a lesbian world. So I don't know. The lesbians I know is on the surface. I haven't seen lesbians in the bedroom doing things and certain experiences. I haven't seen that. Same thing with a lot of people. I've been in bedroom with trans women. A lot of people haven't. So they don't have an opinion on how I relate with them. But if I tell you how I relate with them, nobody can sit back and say, I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. That's what makes Stan and make you.
And we agree to
Yes,
disagree,
exactly.
and everybody has their opinion. And then there's sometimes we get educated, and I'm still going to feel the
Right.
same way I feel after the education. You know what I'm saying? So
I learn every week. Hey, wow.
Yeah.
And guess
Brenda, what
what?
did you learn?
I learned that all y'all crazy as hell like me. Number one, I learned that my niece is not a um
you got that.
or I've said um carnal engineer. Did y'all get that?
No.
I mean, if you don't want to say sex worker,
I might use that one. I
carnal
might do
Okay.
that.
engineer. Okay.
Yeah.
I also learned that I'm shocked about Peach because I would have never known some of that.
I know, right?
Would have never known some of that.
I did not know
And
what? Yeah, you hide it well.
I want to see
Nobody
what's
would
going to
never
happen
know
next week.
How are y'all
Yep.
not seeing me for who I am? Y'all must think I'm a bed of roses, just like a little fairy running around with smiles and stuff. And
Peach, when
I
I
rainbows.
first
We
did.
met
always
you,
When
see
I
you
get them
smiling and happy. And
rainbows and unicorns.
Peach, when I first met you, I was like, why is she around lesbians? She doesn't. She's not a lesbian. And I just thought, okay, maybe she's just an advocate and she's doing this. You came out no way like that, and I'm learning so much. You can't judge a book, man.
So it
You
wasn't
can't.
obvious she was with me.
I mean, yeah. When I first came the first event I came to, it was in Dover, yeah, and it was like she just didn't come off like what I, she just doesn't make.
Exactly. You said it right. You said it right, Stan, because she's a very private person. Since I met her, I couldn't put. Can I share?
Go ahead,
I
share
couldn't put
whatever.
pictures up of me and her together for the first 3 or 4 years of our relationship.
Oh,
She's
okay.
very
Years.
when we went to like her events, it wasn't like we walking arm in arm and people knowing that we together. She's there
Yeah.
to handle business.
Right.
She kept her private life separate, and that was something that I had to learn being with this beautiful queen.
All
I
right.
couldn't put
Yep.
out there, Woman Crush Wednesdays. I couldn't, when that was big, everybody was doing it. And
Yeah.
I was like, you gonna put me in, I used to joke sometimes, you gonna put me as MCW, MCM, Man Crush Mondays or whatever. I used to joke with her. But nobody
She's married now.
together for at least the first, just close people, at least the first 3 or so years.
They knew we was
No,
together.
they didn't.
I just don't like that.
See, Smack, if I was in a relationship like that, I wouldn't be able to take that. I was like, hey, no, we ain't gonna wait 3 years. You waited 3 years. I couldn't wait that long.
We've been.
She is telling a fairy tale.
No,
I wouldn't have been that patient.
Leos are extreme.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Thank you.
Because I didn't know y'all was together at first either. No, she's not.
Thank you.
We used to be everywhere together.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, that don't matter.
You can be in the same place. Me and James was in the same place, and some people didn't know me and him was together.
Wow. Yeah, see, I couldn't do that.
The battery's dying. I love you guys.
So beautiful.
All right.
I don't know. I was raised by Aries.
You're alive. Still.
Yeah, I was. I was raised by Aries, and we were taught to be proper, good host, but all your business is not for the world. You
Right.
gotta
For everybody's
you
business.
gotta
That's right.
to
You're right.
maintain your relationship, especially with us doing the things that we're doing. People will try to destroy
Yeah.
you.
So we out there now. We out
You're
there
right.
now. Shit.
Well,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad y'all took that leap.
Yeah. And they be all in her inbox.
Don't nobody be in my inbox.
Before they knew, she's sitting up here trying to be so prissy. Before they knew it was me and her, be all up in her inbox trying.
Oh.
Of course they were.
Accordingly, though, I love it. So
Yeah.
when I would hear her announce like this is, on her shows, when she would talk about things, before when she was doing her shows, people didn't know it was she's in a relationship. She'd be just talking freely. My immediate family knew. My brother used to listen to her all the time. He's like, yo, y'all all right? Y'all in a relationship? I'm like, yeah. He said, you heard what she said? I said, yeah. Are you all right with that? I was like, yeah, she's, telling her the truth. You know what I mean? My brother learned about our community from her shows. But he came to me with all the questions because he was like, y'all good? He would do that all the time because she was so transparent. You know what I mean? My brothers, they tried to figure out what was going on because we never shared our relationship with the world. And the first 3 years, even Brenda just said didn't know until you came around us.
Are we ready to end this
very
show?
private woman she is. Yeah. Good night, Tim. Don't come with those.
Yes, Tim. Thank you for this panel and
Came with
including
the
me.
questions. Yeah, I saw them and I was like, oh Lord. I didn't want to go back to bring. I'm gonna tell you, I was gonna talk about my toxic relationship that almost cost me my freedom back in Salisbury. But that's why I said I was in a toxic. My relationship was with myself. I deserved what came to me. I felt like it was karma because how I got in that relationship was my ex's brother's wife, and we consummated their marriage. So I felt like it was karma. So that's why I said I was in a toxic relationship with myself. I was young, 21 yet.
And let's reveal our relationship, what we did toxic to our partners.
We ain't do nothing toxic.
We did something toxic.
We ain't do nothing toxic.
Vonda had a girlfriend, I had a husband, and we both walked out of our
We
relationship.
were not happy in those relationships.
We walked out of our relationships without ending them with the people verbally. We did it mentally and ended up together.
Oh, okay.
I can't say I was really in a relationship. I don't think that was a relationship.
You would be in the bathroom talking to me while she would be sitting in the room, Vonda.
I don't remember that.
Of course not. But that's something toxic.
I don't remember that. But if you said it happened, it did. I got chemo fog. It could. I don't remember that though.
But
I
yeah,
remember
we
saying
did.
I used to come to you and complain about everything and get it from the front.
No.
Yes, I did.
We were.
You told me
we
even
were
once
toxic, babe. It's nothing wrong. We were toxic. Shit, we
I
were.
don't-
There's nothing wrong. Y'all
We were
both grown.
But this is something I don't remember.
We
See, I'm
even had
glad.
sex. We were toxic.
Whoa.
We were toxic.
Hey,
Y'all
Vonda.
grown. That's all I know. Y'all grown.
Hey, Vonda.
Whatever she say, yo. Sometimes
You,
you
you
gotta know
toxic, boo. Boo, you toxic.
We were toxic together.
Right.
But
Y'all
you know,
toxic, boo.
Look, sing it together. We were toxic.
I don't want everybody to know this, but I'm gonna say this because we're still on live. There was times where I was about to snap, man. For real. There were times I felt like I was about to snap because of what she was being carried through.
Right.
The toxic that she was in isn't something that a woman needs to go through. And I felt like she didn't want me to, how can I put it? She didn't want me to handle things in my way. You know what I'm saying? People who love me too. Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it back around.
Yeah, she didn't want me to react to some things because I didn't like seeing her and her toxicity that she was in. But I respected her and begging me and pleading with me that she had it, that she just needed me to be there for her to talk. So,
but to bring it around, when people say people that meet in a toxic way, their relationship is messed up and they don't have trust and things like that,
that's lies.
We're not like that.
But
and I don't know if it was because we was meant to be together or what.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Sometimes when it's two toxic people together, they are each other's yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are both toxic, so y'all can rock with that.
Damn, we toxic.
Right. Whereas to a non-toxic person and a toxic person, I have conflict. Two toxic people kind of feed each other.
No, we don't. I don't know. We have like an unbelievable trust and all of that stuff that works.
Really?
And that's the part that matters. That's the only part that matters. It works.
That's that.
Exactly.
Just because it don't work for me, just because it don't work for Brenda, that don't mean there's something wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are that chemical compound that goes together. Y'all just do, and it works.
Yeah.
Whereas if you mix two different kinds of chemical compounds together, you're gonna get an explosion. That's just it.
Y'all been around us. Do we give y'all like that unbalanced feeling when y'all come around us, or do we feel balanced?
No, I think y'all are the most balanced two
Y'all
I've
feel like
seen
a
in
old
years.
ass married couple.
Couple. Thank you.
That's the vibe y'all give. Like y'all been together for 29 years and y'all argue and y'all have y'all's motherfucking fights, but y'all always gonna be together. No matter what.
Yep.
That's the vibe I get from y'all.
We don't even be having fights. I become mute.
For the right person, you will.
I don't know. We still on the live. Are we ending the show?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let me end this show. Thank y'all for joining us. And Black Tim had an excellent topic. We all enjoyed it. Hopefully, all of you guys that watched, you learned something. And if you're in a toxic relationship, I hope you got some advice. Get out, fix it, whatever you choose to do something.
And it could be you that's toxic. That's why your relationship ain't working.
Oh Lord. So you know what? Let's tell everybody good night, and we'll see them next
Good night,
Tuesday.
y'all.
Good
All
night.
right.
See y'all next Tuesday.
Good night, y'all.